Hello minasan, Hikiyami Moriko desu, and welcome to another indie game. This one's called Hello Girl, and it's by the developer Merilynn F. Paisley. I hope I'm not butchering the name. I don't think I have played a game by this developer before, but this game was recommended to me on the last RPG Maker stream, so I'm gonna give it a go. Let's start the game. Are we watching a VHS? Yeah, we're watching a VHS. Do I click play? No, okay. Day 2. What happened to day 1? This dream. Do I click? It seems I click, right? I've only ever known this dream. The only thing I can think about is this dream. It doesn't seem correct to call it a dream. If this is a dream, it's aching, torturous, agonizing. There might be another word for it. Nightmare? Do dreams mangle you? Do dreams rip away at your skin? Oh, I think that's more than a nightmare. Do dreams put you in the hospital? Sometimes. This is no dream. This is a curse. Oh, I lost touch with many things over the decades. The image I see in the mirror for one. Every time I pass one, I ask, what am I seeing? It is not human. Am I definitely not, and I definitely don't see something that anyone could ever truly love. Maybe I should have ever given eyes. Because when I see my reflection, I see blue, a role model, a star, a personality, a celebrity, and above all else, an idol. On the radio, on television. The talk of the nation, me. It's kinda hard to read, sorry about that. It should have been me. It should have been me. There was no error. There were no errors. Every audition, every rehearsal, every scene, every interview, every composition, every note, every performance, every song, every album. Complete, perfect, correct, flawless. And yet, I'm here. Bathtub full of vomit and blood. Oh no. Drowning in my own special brand of hell. This isn't what an idol does. We are not sure if we receive well. You just don't have the right look. Maybe further down the line. They were all right. I'll only ever be this dot, and not even one on any radar. Speck of dust in the corner, unnoticed. Nobody. Shambling around the dark. Maybe I've truly lost it. Maybe I only imagined them. The sweets that showed up the door last night. The ones who told me they are very interested in having my help. That my dream is one we both share. We can help you unlock your potential. We can help you. We can unlock what has been inside of you. What has been hidden this whole time. You can become something different. Something much, much greater. If it ends up with me in concrete shoes, good. I don't think with this. But if the business card they gave me saying they were the feds is real, then maybe. Just maybe. Day 23. Whoa, a lot of days had happened. Also, it seems this is a visual novel. It was all I ever wanted. Somehow, they just knew. They knew exactly how I should be living my life. Every goal, every dream, down to the finest detail. My guardian angels, truly. It's taking some sacrifices, of course. It's been like 3 weeks, right? Nothing's free. Long and painful, invasive and humiliating sometimes, even cruel and meaningless. Every day it's a new procedure. I'm prodded at instruments injected with things and made to be a little plaything for them. I'm always hungry, but forbidden from eating. I was thirsty, but forbidden from drinking. I was tired, but forbidden from sleeping. I'm forbidden from talking to anyone but the caretakers. It's not allowed. It's all for the best, they say. This wouldn't be possible otherwise. The suffering, the pain, the humiliation, the dignity. I will put it aside. To me, all of it, the smallest price to pay. It was all necessary to get me here. I don't care that I'm being used. For dead bits like me, it's the only way. How did I ever think I could make it on my own? But I made up my mind. This is where I belong. In this place, I will finally become something bigger than myself. Even I can shine bright. When the curtain finally opens before me, and the crowd erupts with a pure, unquenchable love. When they see me at the stage, their screams all as one. I heavily chorus, a love beam aimed directly towards my heart. That's when I'll know that I've been worth it. Last night, they told me that the time has finally come. Just a little more, just a little more. The wait is almost over. Not that I needed a scientist to tell me that. I was born to be here, after all. Tomorrow, they are going to sculpt me into the finest hollow that has ever walked this earth. Tomorrow, I will finally become a star. Day 24. A bunch of silence. You could say I went radio silent or VHS silent. Stop. Yes, stop this. It's kind of creepy, please. Hello, girl. Hello. Well, I'm not a girl, but hello. By Merilynn F. Paisley, Maton Nolana, and June M. Harmony. Music by June M. Harmony, Naja the Egoter, I'm sorry for butchery, and Calibration. I try not to butcher these names, but 99. 99 to 32. Connected. 401. 401 to 406. Connected. 2. Connected. Connected. Nice. Alright. What was that again? I glance over my cabinet, exchanging views with the drunk map. That's on the northern shores, long distance. Distant lovers, perhaps. Joking at work? It's uncommon. Most of the 600 lines aren't in use these days. I can only imagine there's some poor girl there making local connections. Must be lonely out there. But of course, someone has to do it. It's important work. I'm daydreaming again. I look for the patch above my head, the only with the level 6XX. I squat on my rolling chair, making my way to the console. Wait, I'm gonna save, just in case. The console for 600s with swift steps. Time is always of the essence. I reach for the loose cable hanging from the patch, plugging into 601. The light stops flashing, now glowing silently. Connected. I roll back on one of the chairs, the full picture coming into view. Watching over the array of switchboards. Wait, is this... How is this called? I forgot the name of that. Numerous lights on the 8 cabinets, all solids. Waiting for another flashing light. Nothing else comes up. Fingers tapping impatiently on my thigh. They modulate in a pattern, eager for something to do. What else? What else? The air leaks into my chest, and I taste it. My shoulders sling down in a light exhale. I feel the weight of my body in the chair. I become aware of the state of aching legs, and I leave the discomfort of the chair. That sounds like me. It slides away a little off control, but of course, I catch it skillfully with my foot. Who's that? I lean forward towards my toes in a stretch. Were you? I circle around the room, that stiffness leaving entirely. Who's this? It's a great day to serve. Affirmations, affirmations. I am the voice with a smile. That's right. After finishing my boast, I feel listless again. There's still nothing on the monitor. But I will let emptiness win. Who's that? It's not me. I walk over coyly, like hiding something behind my back. I reach for the plug on my headset, rubbing to the connector. 400. The logo of Alkaline Corporation rolls between my fingers in deliberation. I reach out like I have so many times before. The contact makes a level for money. 454. Okay. The crackle in my headphones lets me know that it's been done. I lift the headset over my ears. Peer 3 connected. Almost like she doesn't want to go out anymore. Well, that's unfortunate, the poor girl. How has she been doing in school? Her teachers are worried about her. I got a call the other day from the school. Oh no. She's not participating in class, hasn't been doing her homework. On these days, I've been so busy I didn't even notice. I get the feeling she's afraid of telling me how she's doing, and she still asks me where mom is, which is okay when she's coming back. It breaks my heart. I just don't know what I can do for her. Don't know where we can start. Must be tough on her. But hey, I know she pulled through. She's always been a fighter. It's always hard trying to find a way to cheer up little ones. You know, the other day Bobby fell off his bike and really scraped the heck out of his knee. He cried and cried and cried. Didn't want to go outside anymore. I told him, how about we go and catch a pencil break Big's game? What do you think? Oh, lovely of you. It sure put a smile on his face. And you know how much he loves the football game? I was getting so into it. Cheering and shouting and jumping and down. Wonderful day, almost like he forgot his knee. He did seem a bit disappointed they didn't seem to have his favorite pitcher, and half the team was missing. Probably because of what's going on. What's going on? It's like the end of the world, something like that? Alright. I'm not sure Jamie is into baseball, but maybe she'll like it. She'll give it a try. Well, anyways, if you ever want us to come over, you just let us know. I'm sure Robbie and Jamie will love to play like they always do. Thanks, Mason. Take care, okay? So, our name is Mason. Well, it seems. We always do. Bye-bye. See ya. Peer 2 disconnected. Peer 1 disconnected. I'm not supposed to plug in NOT unless there's some sort of problem. But after dipping my toes in a little, there seems to be a little consequence. I guess it's not really my place to know. I connect. That's my job. You can't blame me for being curious, okay? The months have already passed since I took this job. It was hard at first, remembering all the steps, protocols and procedures. But it's actually surprisingly simple. I'm gonna guess Jamie, it's the idol girl from the beginning? Maybe. Each call is inbound from the trunk, and it's my job to route each one to its destination. All I have to do is leave the incoming line from the shelf and plug it into the socket with the light. Of course, I'm just of many operators. There's a lot of us. I'm Anna. Hello, Anna, you're kinda cute. Do you have like a joystick in your chest? Anna Lapin. Lapin? I'm the voice with the smile. Since the customers can see us, we have to put the smile on our voices. Always ready, always happy to help. That's the service you'll come to expect at Alkaline Corporation. That's how it was for a long time. But now, I'm not so sure. A lot of the calls are auto routes these days. It was a respectable profession back then. Routes had to be done by hand. Every operator will pick up and ask, number please. We didn't just connect calls. We will do all kinds of things related to customer service. Scheduling appointments, connecting group calls, and even leaving messages. Sometimes the odd request, this is a forgotten line of work, right? The technology, it's gonna make all of us replaceable. Sometimes the odd request came into the track down a person based on a very vague description. You have to call around to different places to find someone's current location. This job used to be complicated, or so my sister told me. Of course, that's all different now. Most people prefer to dial up the numbers for themselves. Must have been nice back then. I for the life of me, can't recall the name of this place. To speak to people from all over the country, and maybe even all over the world. The world feels a lot smaller now. Hello, girl. Is this the girl? At 6 p.m., the call signal will stop, which marks the end of my day. As the day's last ride, I make my way around each cabinet to make sure that everything is in the right place. After work, I normally get out of my uniform, hang it up, and slip into something more comfortable. I'm gonna see. I don't know if there's a point in saving, but I'm just gonna do it. But today I have an errand to run. Every few days I go out to get the mail. It doesn't deliver it here, so I have to go to the post office in town. I don't know how long it's been this way, but there's a mailbox buried somewhere out there in the grasses. At any rate, it only makes sense that we are putting more of our resources into the grid effort, instead of useless things like the convenience of mail delivery. What's the grid effort? I waste no time moving on the next task. The days are getting shorter after all. The forecast said it will get colder, and I can only agree. The wind chill has already picked up a bit. The air numbs my cheeks and my hands. The grasses swayed gently in the wind. I mean, I wish it was that cold here, please. The birds have already left for the year. I've started to miss their call. It's always been quiet out here. It's the one thing I can trust to never change. On days like this, when the cold hits you like a wall, I remember that I'm just a vulnerable animal. The creature braves the world outside its warm burrow. I almost parked the bike on the side of the... I always wanted to ride one of these things. It seems fun. My sister was more careful about these things, insisting that it's so precious to live outside. I respect her wishes for a little while, but I'm what she isn't practical. But I am what she isn't practical, okay? I dug into my pockets for the key, only to realize it was already sitting in the lock. I turned the key back and forth, making sure there's still charge. With my foot on the lever and my hand on the throttle, I find the right resistance and give it a good kick. Nice. The engine rips through the silence as its cold starts. I greet it warmly with some reps, leaving to the idle while I get my helmet on. I love this sound. It's different from the phone lines, but meditative in the same way. I get on the seat and grab the handlebars. It hums gently in my arms, responding to my commands. It really is a nice piece of junk. Yeah, it looks nice. I give it a throttle and we roll gently over the dirt part. I don't look back. This game it's very scenic. I like it. The wind feels good on my skin. The plane width my passenger motorcycle carries me. The only thing slowing me down are the potholes and grasses encroaching on the path. I feel the stress of the days slide off like butter. Actually, I'm gonna up the volume a little bit. I feel you guys are missing the nice tones of this game. The scenery has slowly been giving away to darker hues. It's summer's final, dying breath. A signal that the best part of the year is coming to a close. The best part of the year is winter, what are you talking about? The feeling of morning doesn't catch up with me as I speed away. I made the decision to enjoy it instead. It's about a 20-minute ride to get to town. I push a bit extra on the throttle in an attempt to escape the cold. Things are far apart here. It almost feels by design. Here the world moves slow. It's a kind of place where you know everyone and anyone new from the city will be faced with scrutiny. I would know. I was one of them. My sister probably carried most of the burden for me, as I've come to quite well like it by the locals. I can say I completely disliked it, but I don't let it show too much. It's important to keep your distance. Just at the moment I swerved to miss a deep pothole, one of those scary ones that will definitely send you flying if you were on a motorcycle, I stopped my bike and looked behind me. That could have been bad. The speed had been creeping up as I got deeper into my headspace. I took a deep breath. I remember that I am not in a rush to get anywhere. I decided to take it easy for the rest of the ride. You know, I used to live in a place like this. This feels really familiar. Like I could like get out of my house and well, the house of my parents, and just look outside. It would be like this. It's really nice. I make sure to write out and check the mailbox every couple of days. I don't want to miss anything important. Not that I really get all that much mail. I guess it's just an excuse to ride out of town. I say town, but maybe it's more like a village. A place with a handful of stores run by clerks who dreams of elsewhere and all tired people who are waiting for the time to buy them. In any case, it's nice to get out here, to get out of the house. I pull up the inordinately large post office. Well, it's really big. I stood nearly empty for a long time, but its heart was in search of activity due to the establishment of the new base. The new base? Like military base? What is happening? There are no customers inside today, only the creak of the fan moving around its socket. I was no time loitering, immediately heading to the counter. Do I touch this? Okay. But there seems to be nobody around. I lean over the counter looking into the staff area, but I see nobody in there. I use my ears too, but there's no sign of movement. Only the creaky fan in the ceiling. The little service bell waits for me to ring it. I tap my foot impatiently. Surely I won't have to resort to it. Just do it, that's the point of the bell. I take a few paces around the room to kill time. There are several sacks of mail spewing out of this hump behind the counter. Looks like they haven't gotten around to sorting the mail yet. Something happened to them? I look at some postcards being displaying the beautiful sights of our country. The cliffs reminds me of home. What little I can remember of it, at least. I look at the clock on the wall. You think that they'd be closing up their shift by now? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's kinda late to be open. I turn my head to look towards the counter with a shift expression. Just touch the goddamn bell. Deciding I've done enough window shopping, I take firm steps up to it. I look at the bell. There's some final internal deliberation. I finally decided to give it a press. What? A thud emanates from the countertop. There's a sound of shuffling from down under. Someone was sleeping on the job? A nicely dressed green-haired girl emerges from under the desk. Looks like a dog. She starts mumbling. That's off again, that's not good. The girl turns away from me and rubs her eyes. Seems to have not noticed my presence. Where was I? Stretching her arms out. She finishes her stretch and turns towards the counter. You rang, right? Yes, I did. What's up? So casual. Her eyes are reddish with a strange yet friendly look on her face. Mail art, was it? Mail art working at the mail? Nice. You say it right. I open up my bag and pull out an envelope, placing it neatly on the counter, pushing it towards her with my index finger. Here. She looks at the letter for a second and then back to me. Wait, I'm Anna then? Oh, thanks. She tosses the letter into an overflowing mailbag behind her, causing a mail avalanche of envelopes. I like the sprite movement, really brings life to the whole thing. The mail clerk lazily goes after them. She gets on the floor, placing each envelope back into the sack with more caution this time. I suddenly feel guilty. Mailer returns to the counter, staring off again. Oh, and my mail. Mailer snaps back to attention. Gotcha. 1 second. She turns around and starts to scan up and down the bins on the wall behind her. The address was something like Eagle, Huck, Pigeon Way? Pigeon Way? What? Wait, everyone is animals, all the humanity is dead? Right. Mela runs her fingers along the labeled bins, mumbling to herself. She bumps into a large cart overflowing with letters and packages, causing some to fall out. Those military guys. Yeah, it's military. The clerk slowly scoots the carts away from the rest of the bins and continues looking up and down them. Pigeon Way. I surely was right. Haha. She pulls out a couple of letters, flicks through them, and sets them to the counter in front of me. There you go. Thanks. Are you going back to sleep? Maillard nods and gets on the floor to put these letters back into the car. Oh, okay. I flip through the letters. Milton's apartment catalog, junk flyer, the Daily Gamut, yesterday's issue. That's strange. Miss? Claire looks up to the overflowing cart. Was this everything in there? Maillard glances at the bin. Everything. Can you check again? She looks away, mumbling something. Jesus Christ, goddammit, I can't believe this guy. Maillard then takes a look inside the bin, making a point to really stick her face into it. She takes out a few letters and flips through them again. None of the rest in here are for you, miss. That can't be right. Are you sure? Nothing for Lapin? Lapin? Sorry. That's all of it. She says in such a defeated tone. Thanks again, miss. I turn around and start towards the door. Hey, wait a sec. Maillard nearly sleeps, making her way around the counter. She comes up to me with an envelope in her hand. This one was on the ground. We're even looking at the envelope. I tear the flap open and shake the letter out from inside. I unfold it and read the top. Oh, I have an actual card. Nice. Alkaline Corporation. Dear Miss Clara Lapine. We are writing to you to inform you that your location is scheduled for a mandatory service upgrade set for September 5. The hardware to be installed is an AW model multiplexer as well as... This thing sounds awfully real. I don't think they are fake stuff. A service representative will be on the site to assist you with the upgrade process. Please give a good look out. We thank you for your service. Hold that confidence. Your local branch office at Alkaline. Marianne falls off to my side with the letter in hand. Mela looks happy to have done her job, I think. I smile at her regardless. Thanks, miss. She keeps looking to me with that expression. I'm not really sure if it's one of accomplishment anymore. I decide to take my leap. Ah, it's really dark now. The night is cool and the breeze clings to my clothes. My breath is visible in the cool air. I lean against the wall of the post office. Wait, that was good news or bad news? I'm not completely sure. Lights from the inside illuminate the road, casting shadows. It's already gotten dark in the time I spent in the post office. I rest my head against the vending machine. It hums softly like a kitty. Yeah, I love that sound. Good girl. What? I looked at a letter in my hand, scheduled for September 5. That's only a couple of days away. Multiplexer, teletypewriter. I'm not really sure what those could be. Technology is really moving quickly these days. It will probably be someone from the city that serves as representative. Wonder what they are like. I twist the accelerator on my bike and start my way back home. Crickets, tall grass swaying gently outside of the telephone exchange. A strange place to call home. The wooden door creaks open and I step, remembering to lock it behind me. The dust and shadows of the near empty switchboard room greets me. I never trip while removing my shoes and jacket. Maybe I should have some light. The ceiling light hums a familiar tone. It's taken some time for me to adjust to the quiet. Wait, do you live where you work? It's hard not to be overly aware of your own actions when there's no one else around. I try to think about the things I should be happy about. Today was the first time the trip to the post office felt familiar to me. Comforting even. So it's not had been too much time since we moved here, right? The first time I drove there, I was so nervous about every little thing. Driving the bag, not getting lost, what to say to the mail clerk. But now it's just another part of my week. Going through the motions. Routines, motions, a meal, a bed, sleepy. My jam echoes through the building's dark halls. I hang up my uniform and put on my nightgown. I collapse onto the bed face first, not feeling an urgency to get comfortable. It isn't really clear to me what I'm feeling at the moment. I'm a girl who enjoys consistency, I guess. Hey, I do enjoy consistency too. I understand that feeling. If there was a word for the feeling, I'd probably be helpless. Before I start to really think about it, I close my eyes. Oh no, another nightmare? That night, I was able to remember my dream. My sister and I were sitting on our old front porch. I was staring at the grass while Mom yelled at us. She was really upset that we had gotten some new clothes dirty and was really telling us to not being more careful. I felt bad that she was going to have to spend so much time giving our clothes an extra scrubbing when she was already so busy every day. Do you know how many months I have to save up for this? Sometimes it feels like neither of you care how much I do for you. Somehow I knew that this happened because I had chased Clara through a mire, and before we could realize how deep the mud went, it was too late. Hello, girl. I wonder how long this game is. I feel like we are just getting started. It was 454, right? Like, what is this? 4. Yeah, 454 is the same number I got last time, right? 39. Connected. I'll be a great big John. As well as good stretch of my arms. Early mornings usually don't have very many calls. 29 to 67. I haven't seen 29 come out in quite a while. With how slow the morning is going, maybe a little curiosity won't hurt. Look into the monitor. You're worried about the government listening to your conversations? Aren't you worried about the local worker? Peer 3 connected. Oh, it's a little like here, like I'm peeping, right? What kind, you ask? Oh, I'm not picky at all. Whichever you think is the most pleasing. Okay then, so a card words thinking of you, get well soon, Thomas. Also, a bouquet of flowers, no preferences. Yes, thank you. If you don't mind, can I ask what happened? Well, he's not doing so great. We got a letter saying he's too injured to fight now. We don't tell us what happened, but when my wife saw him, he was in a full body cast. couldn't move at all. Oh no, my condolences. I'm certainly wishing for a speedy recovery. Thanks. I'll be sure to pass it on. Peer 1 disconnected. Peer 2 disconnected. This will have been such an interesting job to have. Two numbers longing to reach one another. The magic of long-distance communication happening before my eyes. You know, this was really complex peer-to-peer communication. Really complicated to make it work. And I'm sorry, but I have to say this. Right now we have like the golden age of communications, right? Everyone can communicate with anyone that they want in all the time, right? We're connected, we want it or not, and maybe that's not a good thing. I don't know. Let's keep playing. The tiny flashing lights above the digits tell me that something needs to be said somewhere, and then someone else. I can only imagine what it was like before all of this. The words of loved ones and the whim of a person who may or may not find their way to them. A letter left on her back by a gust of wind will mean words lost forever. I get a little teary-eyed thinking about it. Without thinking, I connect another call. It's become mindless. My hands guide themselves. A to B, wait for the lights to turn off, unplug. Rinse and repeat. A to B, repeat. A to B, again. A to B. Fucking S. A to B, B to A, 1 to 2. Like living in a cloud, only it's one of those small solitary clouds you sometimes see in the night sky. 2 to 3. My hands reach out fingers, waving about, creating barely visible shapes in air and moisture. Green and red lights blinking patterns across the sky, creating a grid. A rumbling at my feet. Then, a white light, from out in the distance in front of me. The light grows bigger, coming towards me. A train pierces through the foggy veil, the deafening sound of the engines turns to the screech and the train comes to a halt. A tall, stately man in a vest and some sort of cave steps off the train, his boots sending a puff of dirt up. His movement seems guided, like they've been rehearsed hundreds of times before, in an almost ceremonial manner. He turns my way and begins to strut towards me. I then notice the black and gold cane he's carrying, stabbing the dirt with each stride. He stops in front of me, and I almost feel afraid to look at his face. There's an immense presence to him, an impenetrable aura. I finally muster up the courage to look him in the face. I notice that his gaze isn't focused on me, but more rather something behind me. I suddenly feel very small in his presence. He sets his eyes on me. Reality makes itself now an unpleasant jolt, the feeling in my limbs returning to me. A trail of throat. This game makes me sleepy. A trail of not in a bad way. I just want to be clear, like in a good way that it's really good at showing how this person is feeling that it's making me sleepy too. Runs down my arms and I leave my head up from the switchboard. I fell asleep on the job again. I see my pencil on the floor next to me, the thing that must have woken me up. The second thing I notice, there's so many unconnected calls. My stomach drops thinking about what will happen if I miss too many of these. I shake the sleepy away in my head and stretch my arms a bit. 89 to 1, okay. Connected. Ration day. Every Wednesday, everyone in town lines up to take home government supplied food and supplies. Stuff like rice, oats, cooking oil, and other essentials. It's still a pretty new program, so I'm not completely used to it. Sometimes it's just a matter of substituting one thing for another, but sometimes things don't come in and I just have to do with a plain meal. When it's getting close to the next ration day, I might just be rice and beans for a couple of days. This game is so relatable, Jesus Christ. Me and my sister used to go on trips around the various roads with farmers markets to get fresh produce. Since everyone seemed to know her, we even been gifted some seasonal fruit from time to time. I was hide behind Clara back then. I was always scared of anyone who wasn't my sister. Now the markets are mostly empty. The farmers around have dwindled in number and there's only a handful still around. So it's really been a big help that we have the rationing system now. Even if the food isn't as good, it's at least a little bit easier to get to, even if I have to wait in line. Come to think of it, all of that farmland is under the control of the defense force now. I wonder what they are doing with it. As I get close to the intersection where I turn off the community building, I see 3 people standing there. They are in uniform and they are holding guns. I don't recognize them, but I know they're military. Not sure what they are doing around here though. I decide to slow down. My bike comes to a stop right next to the soldiers. Twin Tails. Halt! This one. I'm a little surprised. I don't think I ever heard anyone say that in real life before. My bike has already stopped, so I'm not sure what they want me to do. The girls stand tactically to block my back from both sides. Wait, why your hat doesn't have the ears covered, huh? Do you want to die by a bullet to the ears? The girls stand, okay. The third stands a bit further behind them, though, with her rifle still around her shoulder. Why everyone looks so depressed? Well, I guess they are in bad times, right? I raise my hands up to show that I'm not holding anything. What's your business here? I'm just getting some rations. Upon hearing me speak, the two near identical soldiers look at each other in surprise. I lift up my goggles so they can see my face. They study me up and down with their eyes. The one in the back has a minimal presence and seems to prefer to stay out of it. Another civilian. They seem to let down their guard a bit. One of them even slings their rifle back over their shoulder. I don't know what's so surprising, but I'm glad I don't have to worry about getting shot. What are you doing out there, little miss? Not a good idea to be out here alone. How young do they think I am? I'm pretty sure they are not much older than me. Are you guys lost? Shouldn't you be out of the front lines? Lost? The little soldier stifles and laughs, her cheeks puff out. Of course we are not lost. We are doing important work here. Classified work. Okay. Keeping the peace. Making sure little girls like you don't get hurt. I'm pretty sure you guys are slacking. Well, I'm doing fine. Yeah, you might be doing fine now, but you never know when the enemy might strike. So you gotta watch your back. I wonder what they've been told. I understand. Is it okay to... You can say we are the ones who are lost. Don't you know? This is a military road. You are the one who's lost. Since when? And you know, we've been on the front lines too, Eastern Shores 23 Company. Really? Yeah. You couldn't imagine the things we've seen. They are still going. I don't think they are going to listen to me. They start to argue with each other about who saw the most gruesome thing. I lost track of the conversation. I get the feeling that they are not supposed to be here. I take a look at the third soldier. She keeps a stern look at me for what feels like an eternity, even though only a second or two has passed in reality. Eventually she looks down at the ground. I guess she has nothing to say. I think about saying something to her, but I feel I meddle with her with their little operation enough. Hey, are you listening? Am I free to go? Yeah, sure. Go ahead. I guess my worries were misplaced. I didn't have to worry about these girls. They are just a couple of kids. I put my goggles back on and look forward. I push down on the pedal and my bike rolls off with me. That was a little nice conversation. I sure hope nothing really bad happens in this game. But it's gonna happen, right? That opening scene was not a good omen. With the day's rations in hand, I shuffle back into my home base. The usual nightly doings, so much sleeper because of this hassle I was giving today. I think about the things I used to cook with my sister, the fantasy all sorts of delicious things lulling me to sleep. This game is extremely relatable. I'm blinded. My eyelids are being held open, a ray of light flicking directly into it rapidly. The light feels more intense with each flicker. It starts to hurt more and more. Then, my eyes are allowed to close. There's a warmth in my ass that I have never felt before. I try to reach out and touch them, but my arms don't cooperate. Mumblings from an invisible congregation. Although I can understand them, I feel I'm being gossiped about. It's always like this, it feels... One of the figures make themselves visible. What happened to my sister, huh? A short girl with long, unkempt hair. Something about her feels familiar. I try to piece together memories in my head, but all the fizzle was as soon as they know. She tilts her head curiously. I focus on the way her recovers her face and she does this. I try to speak to her. But my mouth doesn't cooperate either. She holds her hand out with the palm facing up. This gesture. This feels comforting. I start to feel a little sad that I can't take her hand. She steps back, sudden hesitation, turning her head left and right panicked. I start to understand her concern. I'm nothing anymore. Okay. We are piecing the mystery little by little. Something is wrong this morning. It's 5 minutes past the opening time. There's always a rush of calls coming in right about now. A lot of very important phone calls, but no lights have come on today. I sit patiently waiting for the first call to come in. After some time, I start feeling anxious, and I patch myself in one of the lines. But it's dead quiet. I try several, not even interference can be heard. I even try speaking to the telephones, but there's no answer. I look outside, listening for sirens like I had been told to do. I even get over my fear of the radio and tune into the emergency frequency. But there was nothing. I start pacing around impatiently. What is going on? Nothing good, I guess. It was today when they were supposed to come in, right? They never called a note from the other day. Yeah, maintenance day. Does that mean that everything should have been disconnected? Who is taking my calls right now? Right then I hear a knock on the door. In my panic, I hadn't even heard the guest drive up. Is that the company's representative? I'm not even wearing my uniform. 1 minute. I hastily slip out of my nightgown and grab the uniform off the rack. I look at myself in the mirror one last time, making sure that my hair's parted how I like it. I undo the locks on the door and open it wide. I'm here for the maintenance job. The person standing by the entrance is a talent dressed in standard issue worker's overall. I realize that I've been staring down, so I quickly burst out a greeting. Hi. They give me a polite nod, and I hastily return it with a full-blown bow. Can you take me to the foreman of this office? Foreman? I see. We stand there for a while, blinking at each other. May I come in? Yes, of course. I move out of the way, hiding my body behind the open door. The tall person steps inside, making sure to take their muddy boots off by the entrance. Somehow seeing in socks makes them feel a bit less intimidating. I close the door behind us, looking down shyly. The worker looks around, seeming somewhat confused. It's just you today? I keep looking down at my feet. It's just me in general. I see. They walk around the room looking at some of my belongings. Very lived in. I'm not sure what to say in response. They raise the clipboard that they've been holding and walk over the row of the switchboards. They stop at each one and after giving it a good look, makes a note of the clipboard. I'm not sure what they are writing down, but I'm sure it's important. During a visit like this, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do, so I just continue telling them as they inspect the place. Do I get a passing grade? I'm not here to grade you, miss. The person doesn't seem to look for the clipboard as they speak to me. I know. You're here to grade the switchboards. After working their way through the switchboard terminals, they look up the cables running off and the walls from each unit. They join each other in the braid near the ceiling. I'm just here to make sure that the equipment is up to code. They follow the cables to span across the wall, terminating above a metal door in the corner of the room. They also make a note here. And if it's not, make the necessary upgrades. Well, is the equipment up to code? The worker rubs their chin. No, miss. Who let it get this bad? Suddenly I feel a little intimidated. I'm sorry, I didn't know. No, I didn't think it's your fault. I don't think it's your fault. Protocols haven't been followed here. You've taken good care of the equipment, I can tell. But you could phone it to let us know earlier. There's quite a mess for me to clean up. I look around the room. Everything's just the way Clara left it, but I never knew there was some sort of problem with the way she had things up. This is just how I always know it. Is it something that needs to change? What happened to Clara? Clara and Anna. The representative looks around at the several doors leading out of the room. Is there an office in here? An office? I think so. I take the key box on the wall and look for the right key to use. I grab the one with the tag of it says office and lead the representative to one of the doors. This building is too big just for me, so I keep these doors locked and pretend they are not there. The representative smiles at me, saying nothing. The door opens with my key, leading to a small room with a desk, a chair, and some filing cabinets. The representative steps past me and sits down at the desk using their own key ring to open the filing cabinet. I guess they've done this before. What's in there? Maintenance records, mostly. Schematics, blueprints, and the like. They go through the drawer, picking out a few folders and setting them on the desk. A puff of dust rises from the folders as the books are put down. The representative doesn't cough. They open up one of them, going through the documents within. I look over their shoulder, trying to parse the information on the pages, but I can understand it. This looks complicated. The representative looks up from the books. It's a circuit diagram, miss. It covers how the switchboards are wired, part of your basic training. Oh. I'm not very good at this stuff. Something tells me she didn't have basic training. The worker looks at me puzzled. Well, she kind of like, were you not trained by Alkaline? I shake my head at them. Then, do you know when the fuses were last replaced? I don't know. The representative cites it's probably dawning on them that there was more work to be done than initially thought. I don't know a whole lot about this. My sister taught me how to do the job. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Your sister? The representative taps their pen on the desk thinking. They bring out yet another four little papers. This one looks like a directory of some sort. Each page has tables of names and hire dates and who was their manager. They flip through the pages all the way to the very last one. The worker puts their finger on one of the names at the bottom of the list. Miss Lapine. That's me. Clara Lapine? I shake my head. That's my sister. I'm Anna. I see. So you're not actually working for the company. I am. You do? But you're not on the ledger. But I work here every day. The representative sighs and put the folder back in the drawer. I'm sure you're a good worker, Miss Lapine. I'll write that your sister was present. They stand up and leave the room with the schematic. Yeah, this is a little bit complicated, right? Because you can't really let someone that it's not capacitated for the job, like I don't know, like trained for the job, work there. It's been doing something wrong this whole time. I follow the worker back to the main room. The representative looks around the room and then at the schematic. Take a shot every time I say representative. We're gonna get drunk. Again, they seem to be in a deep concentration. So you know my name now, but I don't know yours. The representative looks up from the diagram. Name's Career. They point the name of the tag on their uniform. Oh, it really is. It's there. It was there all the time. Oh, I thought that was just a title. They look down at the tag and exhale lightly as if I missed by my mistake. I smile at them and they smile back. This is kind of cute. I scoot closer to Career to look at the diagram they're holding. It seems to resemble the room we are in. A few of the rooms have labels on them like office and break room. Curiously, some of the rooms in here don't match what they currently are, like my bedroom. I guess that was added later. Something weird's happening here. Career taps their pen on the paper, then looks up at the wires in the ceiling. I'm going to need to take a look at the wiring in the basement. The basement? Career then points to the metal door in the corner of the room to which the cables lead. The trunk lines are down there. Basement? There's a basement? I heard scary sounds coming from the steel door before. It's the one I stayed the furthest away from. It's pretty ominous. Of course, I say nothing about this out loud. In the end, I just nod and follow the representative to the door. The door is locked, so I go for the key box again. After poking around, I can't seem to find the right key. I have no recollection of ever seeing one labeled basement or anything like that. It doesn't come up as much of a surprise. Many of the hooks have keys that are missing. She's never told me about the basement, so I don't know yet. Something really weird's happening here. I look to Career and they look back at me. I think this small action told them everything because they silently lift the keyring from off their belt. It's large with many different sized keys on it. I have to get a new key made for this door. I stand a bit further back as Career unlocks the door. It opens with a horrible creak. Yeah, that's spooky, alright. I don't like basements. I expect there to be a room on the other side, but it's just a staircase leading down. The sunlight from the window casts a light down the stairs. It seems to continue to the right, but I can see where it ends. Career immediately heads down as if the creepy staircase doesn't bother them at all. I guess it's not that surprising. They probably do stuff like this all the time. The wooden stairs creak loudly as the representative descends, and it makes me wince a little. When they reach the bottom, a switch clicks on the wall. Nothing seems to happen, much to their dismay. They lift a small pen flashlight from their belt and continue into the darkness. I'm not sure if they want me to follow them or not, but I don't want to leave my guests to wander around alone. I take a deep breath and put my right foot on the first step. I hold the handrail as I take it down slowly. Korea made it look really easy. I guess this is why they have the job and not me. Not that my job isn't important, I'm sure it is. The staircase seems to get longer as I descend. There's a toasty smell in the air. I don't think anyone has been down here for a long time. I'm not sure what I expected to find behind this door. Certainly not a whole other floor. I try not to think about the empty space growing in this building. There's a reason why I keep these doors locked. Yeah, living in a big house on your own can be pretty intimidating. I think that's not the correct word. I poke my head around the corner and I see the representative already. at work surveying the basement. They are dimly lit by the small flashlight held in their mouth. The room is tall and narrow, spanning an unknown depth into the darkness. The walls are lined with what appears to be many units of the same machine. Courier has lifted a cover of one of them and is poking around inside. I had no idea all of this was down here. I approach the workers so that I don't have to be alone in the dark. They have a clipboard in one hand and a pen in the other, filling out some sort of checklist. They look at me, taking the flashes out of their mouth so they can speak clearly. Hey, would you mind holding this flashlight for me? I nod and take the light from their hand, making sure to point it to where they were working. It's made of metal and is surprisingly heavy for its size. I don't know if they made flashlights this small. I wonder how it works. I feel a little safer now with a light. Courier is poking around inside the machine with a screwdriver, opening little compartments up and looking inside. It's a miracle this stuff still works. The corps have really been slacking on maintenance. You mean alkaline? Yeah. Ever since they got nationalized, HQ's been cutting corners. Oh. I don't know what any of those words mean. Yeah, I can tell that's much. You're a country bumpkin, right? They arrive with cash, but they don't spend it on anything useful. Maybe when this war is over, they'll get their act together. Until then, here I am fixing their mess. You seem to work hard, Courier. I'm sure your work is appreciated. They give me a warm smile before turning back to the machine. Have you been at alkaline long? Courier looks back at me as I ask my question, but continues talking as they work. Ever since I got old enough. You must be really smart, then. Courier laughs. Maybe so. This is all I know how to do. Courier finishes up their work on the machine, making sure to close the cover before moving on to the next one. I did need to follow them with the flashlight carefully not to get in their way. They pop another cover open with a screwdriver. I think it's made out of some sort of backlight. They lift it off and set it aside. It looks heavy. On the inside, the machine looks very similar to the last one. What are these machines? They are part of the exchange. These are switches, panel switches to be precise. This bank uses the newer model of straight panel switches. They are a lot more reliable than the old rotary ones. Man, the developer of this game really made their homework with this. Yeah, the old ones were a nightmare to maintain. Lots of moving parts. Don't even get me started on the wiring. As you might have noticed, there's a lot of empty space down here. That's because the old banks were so big. Yeah, you could fit a whole room in the space left behind by those things. I look behind me and scoot a bit closer to Courier. Again, I love the little animations. But what are there under my house? We just do the phone calls here. They are used to route transmissions to other central offices. They are what make what Courier, it's so kind explaining to this girl that obviously doesn't know anything. Or they are part of it at least. The telephone pulses are like the roads of the system and the switches are like the intersections. Oh, that's a good way of explaining it. But I thought you made the connections, like when I plugged the wires in upstairs. Yes, that's part of it. Or maybe not for much longer. I wonder what they meant by that. So the basement is the brain of the phone system? You could say that. There's a lot of brains through, not just this place. They're all connected together, forming a network of brains. Brain network. This building mostly serves for long-distance lines. There's not a lot of local lines connecting to make so most of the incoming transmissions are just passing through elsewhere. Courier points to a logo on my uniform. See? That's a logo for the long-distance division. Whoa. I didn't know there was so much of it. I thought telephones were just a wire. Courier chuckles. That will make my job a lot easier. They check some things on their phone clipboard and move to the next panel. So, how long will it take you to fix them? It's not just a matter of fixing the panels, there's also some other stuff that needs attention. The panels, they're just the most obvious problem. It's a wonder they're still functioning. They need to be totally replaced and I haven't looked at the wiring yet. I won't say about a week tops. A week? I can connect calls for a whole week? That's all I know how to do. I don't know what to do if I couldn't do that. What am I supposed to do for a week? Enjoy your vacation? Vacation? I've never been on vacation before. Does that mean I can go anywhere I want? Like the beach? I don't know if you can go to the beach during a war, but maybe. I never tried to be anywhere else before. Nowhere but here. This is my home, and Clara couldn't come home any day at all. I don't know what I would do if I wasn't here when she came back home. No, I can't go anywhere. I have to stay here. Well, you could always help me. Will that make it go faster? Not really, but I do be company. When I'm out of maintenance, I don't usually get to talk to people. And you are certainly an interesting girl. I don't mind helping you out. I don't know what else I will do anyway. The only time I was away from work was when I fell off scissor lift and broke my leg a few years ago. But if you'd rather do this, I can't complain. I like this little like little cuts to the next scene. This game is really well paced. I can notice a lot of work went into that. Come evening, Courier and I head back upstairs. We've been down there so long that it was already dark out. I apologize that I didn't have any food to offer them, but they said they were fine. I also offered a place to sleep for the night, but they said they had booked another room. They probably thought the notion of staying at my house was a bit strange. Yeah, a little bit. I didn't think of it strange at all. I was trying to be hospitable. Yeah, that's what people in the country do, right? I didn't really have a guest room anyway. Maybe you do. You keep the doors locked. I just had my room and Clara's. I wouldn't want to make them sleep on the floor, so I guess it was for the best. Correa said they will be back tomorrow morning to start work properly. I wonder what sort of changes they bring to the place. Change is something I'm not used to. I live here for so long that I've gotten used to everything being the same. Even Clara left, I still kept everything the same. But she died or she left to do something else. Maybe I'm hoping that she'll come back and everything will be as it was. Hopefully. I went to bed early that night. I was tired from all the goings on of the day. I'm really not used to having guests over. I must keep to myself. Without any phone calls to make, I guess I just have to socialize. It's not so bad. Korea is nice. They're a bit strange, but I guess I'm a bit strange too. It seems to work out somehow. Without thinking too hard about anything, I let myself drift off to sleep. Time for another nightmare? I dreamt of the ocean. The waves were crashing against the shore and the wind was blowing through my hair. I was standing on the beach looking at the horizon. The sky was all grey. It looked like it was about to rain. I was barefoot and my feet were sinking into the sand. The waves were rolling against my legs, but I couldn't feel any sensation of cold. Korea was there too, standing distantly on the shoals. Or was it Clara? I couldn't tell. I tried to call out to them, but they didn't seem to hear me. They were just staring out at the ocean. I tried to catch a glimpse of their face, but it kept changing. Help, they say. Help me. I didn't know what was wrong. Is a little rain really that bad? What a stupid scene. I never even been to the ocean. These dreams mean something, I'm sure of it. I've been up since early in the morning and I already got dressed. Today I won't be caught off guard. A good second impression is just as important as the first. That means that you have consistency. Whether that is a good or bad consistency, well, that's in the eyes of the beholder. That's true. I take pride in mine regardless. I stand by the entrance waiting for the truck to roll in by the driveway. I peek out the window every once in a while, but there's no sign of them yet. They never actually told me they would be here, beyond the back early morning. Career seems like they're a bit punctual though. So they take their job more seriously than I think I ever could. I guess that's one difference between us. One of many. It doesn't take long until I start spinning up theories about what I would do if they didn't come. I'm not sure what I would do if the phone system took up my time. I'd probably just end up reading a book or something. I have a lot of them. I've read most of them already. But what would I do if I finish all my books? Yeah, that's a good question. You can get more books eventually. I run out of things to do. Maybe pick up gardening. The yard's really not good for it though. All overgrown and full of weeds. I actually don't know anything about gardening. Maybe there's a book on it. Not that I own one. I take a deep breath. I realized that I was starting to get a bit worked up. I don't think it will make a lot of sense for Korea to just not show up at Colin's business after all. The droning of distant truck engine erases my worries. That's definitely them. She smiles a little bit, kinda cute. That was fast. Good morning. Good morning, Anna. I like the music of this game a lot. Really good. Was the drive okay? Yeah, it was fine. I drive a lot, especially in familiar places. Bro, this is the first time I've been to this area. It's kind of out of the way, isn't it? Yeah, it's quiet. Foreign chains are usually pretty busy places. I'm surprised that this one isn't. Oh, is that bad? I'm not sure. I've never been to one that wasn't. You seem to be doing well enough for nobody to complain. I'll take that as a compliment. I don't think I will want to be any different. I'm sympathetic. I'll try and make sure that it stays the way it is. Correa looks around the room. That leads me to... Correa rolls out a big sheet of paper on the table. Seems to be a copy of the one from yesterday, but with some additions. I drove off an itinerary for the repairs. I'll go over it with you. Before we start, would you like some coffee? Oh, sure. You seem like the type. It looks like the type. What's that supposed to mean? It's a good thing. I disappeared into the kitchen to get to the pot of coffee I had prepared in anticipation of this event. Well, she's really prepared for this. I poured 2 cute little porcelain cups and bring them back into the table. When I get back, Korea's sitting on the floor looking over the blueprint on the table. I'm glad they're already feeling at home here. I place the cups down and take a seat next to them. Here you go. Korea takes the cup and takes a sip almost immediately. They make a funny face. I guess it's not very good. Sorry, it's rationed coffee. It's fine. What coffee isn't? I guess that's true. Well, I guess it's the times, right? I take a sip of my own coffee. I make an expression. This bitter taste has become nothing but ordinary to me. Carrera said they were going to go over the itinerary with me, but they seem to be taking their time mulling over it. I don't mind. I'm not in a hurry. I guess I'm the one who suggested this tour anyway. So, timeline. It's a timeline now. I won't start with the most important things first, the switches, but those are in special order. So I'll start with what I can do right now. The wiring I could do today. It's a bit of a mess from what I've seen, and I can get it done. I just not quietly. I haven't seen the terminus yet. I wanted to get a look at it yesterday, but I didn't have time. Terminus? Is that the big box outside? Yeah, that's the one. I'm surprised you know what it is. I guessed. We can take a look at that in a bit. Then there's the AW and the TW. They are big units, but they are not too complicated to wire up. They're already assembled too, so we shouldn't be able to get them up and running pretty quickly. We'll leave that for another day. We have to wait for them to be delivered anyway. That about covers it. It's a lot of work, indeed. So let's get going. But first, Anna, would you mind helping me bring some stuff in? Okay, sure thing. She's not having a great time. I dropped the last bag of materials onto the floor, almost falling over. I don't think it was good for this kind of job. Same. Career carries in a box and spots me hunched over and sweating. Careful not to throw your back out. Career smiles decently. They set the box down near the door to the basement. I decide to take a much needed break and lay down next to the coffee table. Career sits down next to me. So here. They eye over some blueprints to the building. Station 45 East. They look at the wiring coming from the switchboards running along the ceiling and through the walls. Scratching their head, they say up to the study area. I watch them trace the wires from one side of the room to the other, noticing the wire going to my bedroom. Not sure if I know anything, but I'm a little confused here about something. Will you happen to know why they rerouted the wires in this way? They point at the wires from the switchboard to my room and more wires going from one part of the building to another. Not really? Figures. Courier strokes their chin, looking away as if for an idea. They tuck some time of their head behind their ear and open the door to my bedroom. I hear some rattling from behind the walls as Courier starts to pull up some of the cords. The first time anyone else has been to my room. Since there was a little bit of a storm last night, their boots are probably really muddy. The thought of having to clean up all the mud that's probably being tackled around my room. I make my way into the room. Courier already has their hands full of wires. Excuse me. Courier stops to listen. Miss Courier. They look a little caught off guard. It's Miss Courier. Miss Courier, can I ask you to please take your boots off before going into my bedroom? This is your... Courier turns around and notices the bed and dresser. Her mouth opens in surprise. Of course, of course. I've never been to an exchange that someone lives in. You'll have to forgive me. It's okay. Both of them are really nice. This is really cute, but I'm sure it's gonna hurt eventually. Courier promptly takes off her boots and leaves them by the door. I'm a little embarrassed that I had to ask her to do that. I don't want to seem uppity or anything. I'm just a little particular about my room. Everyone is. You don't get into my house with shoes. I'm sorry. If my room is messy, I feel like my mind is messy too. That's right. Stuff needs to be in the right place. That's true. I agree with you 100%. I watch as Courier continues to strip the wires from the walls. Little paint chips down to the floor as the guts are spilled. I just sit in my bed watching Courier work. I don't think this is something I can help with. This room has always been such a gentle and clean space, and now it feels defiled. I know it's just a room. I guess technically it's not even my room. It's Alkaline's property. All that's real in my mind right now is I have to clean up all this stuff. Maybe paint over the walls again. I can't imagine sleeping in here with all this exposed wiring. Hey, Courier. Is this necessary? What, the wiring? Yeah. Do you have to do this? Well, I wouldn't be doing my job otherwise, right? I mean, I guess, but... I don't know. Could you just say you did it? I could, but that'd be lying. I mean, I don't think anyone would know the difference. I would. That's real honesty right there. I mean, I guess, but... No, you're right. If I were in Courier's position, I'd probably do the same thing. I'd want to know that I did the job right. Yeah, that's true. Courier and I sit down at the table and I pour some tea. A break seemed to be in order. I don't know if this here is her thing, but I figure I would change it up a bit. Give Courier a full sampler of the Anna experience. The Anna experience. We sit in silence for a little while. Courier looks on the window, enjoying the view. Her usual job site probably isn't surrounded by this much nature. She sets her teacup down and looks down at some of her notes. These are some cute cups. I like the little flowers on them. Right? They are my sister's set. I think she got them from her mother. Courier picks up her cup and looks at it. You said your sister was the one who originally worked here. If she's not here, where is she? I want to know. Clara volunteered. She's a medic now, I think. Oh no. We will take another sip. Together sing their usual song outside. And so she's trusting you with the switchboards for now, I assume. When I was younger, I always wanted to be like her. I guess in a way that ended up happening. I'm just happy I'm able to help her keeping this place running. She'll be back soon, she told me in her last letter. I'm sure she will be. Kara takes a sip of her tea. I wonder what she's thinking about. You know, I never met anyone from Alkaline before. Is it a fun place to work? Fun? It has its fair share of enjoyable moments, I say. Maybe not the fun you're thinking of, though. It's fun to see the look on someone's face after I fix a problem of theirs. But sometimes the days are just much too long. Kara gives me a distant stare that downs the rest of her tea. I do the same, trying to mimic her nonchalant ways. Why is this so cute? I can't help it. For a while we just sit there in silence. The light streaming in front of the window is filtered to the leaves of the trees outside. It's a nice day. The silence is broken by Courier clearing her throat. I look at her. Anna, are you close to your mother? I'm a little taken aback by the sudden question. Did the documentation into the office say something about her? No, that's not what I'm asking. You talk about your sister a lot, but your mother, you didn't even mention her. I don't think she's someone I think about very often. What, do you think I'm too young to be here on my own? Don't misunderstand. You're doing a great job. Courier looks away for a moment. Just, chalk it up in the innate curiosity of an engineer. Well, alright. Honestly speaking, I don't know where she is. It was so long ago. Courier nods understanding and takes another sip of tea. I think she's alive, but I don't know where she is. Me and Clara, we ran away from home when we were young. Both take another sip of the tea. I'm not sure what to say. It doesn't mean a lot to me anymore. It's been this way for a long time, for as long as I can remember. I don't know if I ever recognized her if I saw her. It's hard to say that it's something I more, let alone something I think about with any regularity. I wonder what made the courier ask about her. Good question. It's getting late. The day's work concludes. Courier replaced all the wiring on the first floor. I helped her with the last few rooms because I couldn't stand just sitting around while someone else was working away in my home. I wasn't much help, but I think she appreciated the company. She's a lot more talkative than I thought she would be. I guess she's just a little slow to warm up. To be fair, I'm not much better. Courier said her goodbyes and took off for the night. My day isn't over yet, though. I decided it's probably a good time to head to the post office. Oh yeah, I have to go there every once in a while, right? As I come to the desk, mail alert actually seems to be manning her post for once. She's hunched over, looking more bored than usual. She doesn't even notice me until I'm right in front of her. I knock on the desk and her eyes widen. She looks up to me and smiles while she is reunited with a long-lost friend. Anna! Did you see What? Huh? What? Do you see that dog? That weird dog outside? Come again? So there was this big hunk and his dog was like cylindrical. What? I look around seeing no obvious signs of a weird dog. You should have been here for it, man. I tried to shut that dog up, but it will not stop barking. It ate a letter. None of yours, though. Not to worry, Miss Anna. Big Sis Mailard's got all of your mail. She's acting really strange today. Without any further words from either of us, she immediately finds out my mail bin and plugs through the various envelopes from my mail. She sets up my mail down on the counter. I guess she remembered my address this time. She pushes her index finger together in a waving motion as she waits for me to take the mail. Not wanting to run any further trouble, I take the letters and file through them. Ads, flyers, GLT bill, news. Join us in the great effort. Nothing interesting. Nothing new. I open up my purse and carefully put them in there. Of course they go into the trash once I'm not in view of a postal worker. I just don't want her to take it personally. I push today's letters towards Maillard as per usual. She doesn't immediately pick it up. I guess I'm sending letters to my sister. Anyway, Anna. How come you're always sending these letters? They're always addressed to the same name. You know, we have different products too. Maybe try a postcard sometime? Mela cracks a smile. It's kinda cute. Try something different. Mela picks up my envelope and makes a stance like she's holding a deadly throwing weapon. Thanks, miss. I will keep that in mind. She tosses the letter into the going mail sack, gracefully lands it on to my great surprise. I do wish she would be a bit more careful with my letters. I don't want them to get lost. Now that they're in the bag, though, I can't do anything about it. I'll leave it to the system to see my letter get to its destination. Can I trust the system? I don't know. Clara's not gotten back to me yet. Say, Maillard. Yeah? What happens to the letters that don't get delivered? She thinks for a moment. They get returned to the sender. What if it's a letter that's been sent to a right address but the recipient isn't there to get it? The letter will be left in the mailbox until someone picks it up. What about a military letter? You have to ask the military about that. Oh, right. What were we talking about? Nothing. I'll see you later. I had enough of this. I turn around and take my leave. I don't think my sister is alive. Outside, I take a deep breath. No strange dogs inside. Something to be thankful for. I don't like animals very much. I sit down on my back with a feeling I need a minute reason to leave. There's nothing waiting for me at home anyway. Well, that is the first thing I don't agree with you. I love dogs. At times like that, well, I don't like wild dogs or like other people's dogs. I just like my dogs. Distraction says your worries. They make you forget. For a little. It's become my habit to spend some time here, just sitting outside. I don't know why. I just like it here. Maybe there's something alluring about the exterior of this building. It's been here longer than the great effort. It's been here longer than the military. It's even been here longer than I have. It's a place that always been there for me, just like home. I find that comforting. Yeah, it's good. A place that can be home, even if it's not somewhere you live. Being in places that I spend timing with Clara makes me feel like she's still here with me. I wonder if she feels the same way. I can't imagine she has too much to hold on out there. Clara, hold on a little longer. Someday this will all just feel like a dream. Things will go back to how they used to be. I'm sure of it. My thinking is interrupted by a grumble in my stomach. I guess I haven't had anything to eat yet. I was set away by the action of the day and forgot to take care of myself. I guess at home there's one thing waiting for me. A warm meal. I turn the key and kickstart the engine. I'm coming home. Clara and I took the longer drive to the city. I don't know what it is we came here to get, but I'm sure it's important. It's crowded, a sea of people. The bustle of the city is something I could never quite get used to. She tugs me along as we trip through the aisles of the department store, the clothing section. The racks of clothes seem much taller than normal. I can only see the ground and a labyrinth of coats surrounding me. Clara pulls me along and squeezes through the two tall racks. Halfway through, I lost her hand. I make it through to look around. She's nowhere in sight. Clara? Clara? I stay put through it. I just feel frozen in place. Afraid that if I move, we'd lose each other. Man, that used to be something really terrifying as a kid, right? As a child. Like when you get lost in public spaces. I feel like the world suddenly becomes really overwhelming, right? This morning, Korea helped me herself inside the house. I was in my morning gown, so I ran off embarrassed to get changed. I had told her that I'd leave the door unlocked for her, but ultimately forgot about that whole interaction come morning. We found ourselves sat down on the floor, on the cushions in the main room, and we enjoyed our new regular morning routine, drinking coffee in silence. Is this supposed to be like down here, or like it's like a bug? I don't know. Something feels unusual, a lot of character about it. Maybe it's just that she was starting to feel more comfortable here. Maybe it's that I was getting comfortable with her presence in my home. It's not something I should get used to. Nothing is permanent, especially this. I pop open a can of tuna. I will go good on a sandwich with some lettuce and tomato. Maybe even some cream mixed in with the tuna. A girl can dream. This game again, it's really relatable. It's been a while since stuff like this was easily accessible. Courier seems to eat whatever I put in front of her happily. I find it admirable that she's not picky. I look at her as she picks up bits of tuna with her fork. I have a feeling that today is going to be a good day, so I didn't want to sully with any ideas that life could be better. I was content with just watching her eat. I don't actually feel hungry at all. In fact, I was more full than I ever felt in a long time. I was full of her company. It's dawning on me that maybe I'm already getting too used to it. You get used to good things fast, and that's a problem because usually good things don't last. Courier has built a home into an emptiness I didn't know I had. And in that half-filled emptiness, something dormant has been disturbed. I'm not sure if I like it. I'm not sure if I want it to go away. Maybe it's okay for the things to just be the way they are. It's a little too poetic to really make sense of. I push it away. Courier finished doing... Okay, I guess we were sitting, right? That makes sense. Placing the tuna down, washing it down with a big swig of coffee. I found the aqua reprehensible, but it's not my taste buds. I guess, yeah, I was thinking about the taste in my mouth, like the taste of canned tuna and then just like a bunch of cheap coffee. I don't feel they go well together, but again, not my taste, but right? I guess she's eager to get to work. I have to go pick up a package today. I'll be a few hours. The post office isn't so far away. I wonder why it will take so long. A few hours? It's at the depot at base 8. Special order. Base 8. You mean the military base? That's on the other side of town. Why will you make the trip there? So, two things. First, I need some lifting help. Those boxes are a pain in the ass. I interject. I don't know if I'd be much help. I point to my skinny arms. Don't worry, you will plenty. I don't mind, but if it's a base, can the soldiers help you? Courier huffs. Have you ever met a soldier? I recall those military brats from the other day. I'm starting to see the angle. More trouble than it's worth, maybe. Right. So, are you up for it? Okay. Secondly, I want you to become an official employee of All Clean. You've already been living under the guise of your own sister all this time. But obviously the person on the ID isn't you. But what if it was? If I work my magic right, I'll make sure that you get a proper idea and everything. Then there will be no problems. I blink at Korea, not sure what to say. She can do that? She will do that for me? Why? Why would you go out of your way to help me? Yeah, that's kind of suspicious. I know there's nice people out there, but I always get suspicious of overly nice people. I don't know. Why should I replace Clara? My sister will come back one day, and then everything will be okay. The way she does when she needs to think about something really hard. What if your sister doesn't come back? Something felt painful about how she phrased it. Please don't say things like that. I know she'll come back. I know she will. I just know. Clara will come back. Once this all blows over. She'll come back. Clara takes a sip of her coffee, seemingly a bigger swig than usual, to give herself time to think, perhaps. Okay, but if she doesn't, I want you to have something to fall back on. Clara is really persistent about this. I'm not just trying to be kind. It's just in case. I know it's just in case. I know she'll come back. I feel unable to say anything useful as a response. You don't have to decide now, but please make your decision by the time we get there. Okay. I try and shake the sentiment I have been building up. It's a bad habit. When will you be ready to leave? I just need to get changed. Ah, yeah, I'll wait outside. Correa lifts herself, taking the plate with the French press and our cups with her. She beat me to it. Ah, you don't have to do that. She stops, smiling as she turns around. Let me at least do this. Fine. I'll let my angst slip away. I'll leave the headband out of the box on the back of the bike and I put it on. The goggles hang at my neck. Courier, who had seemed to be walking towards our truck, turns back to me. You're gonna ride that thing there? I half expected her to berate me for leaving the keys in the ignition. Of course, she's not my sister. I was going to. It'll be faster if you ride with me. Oh, this thing is pretty fast. My sister had it turned up. I'm sure it is, but it'll be trouble if you're riding into the base. They'll want to see the documentation and all that. Good point. Not wanting to be an inconvenience, I pulled the helmet back in the box and walked with her on the truck. At least put the thing inside before you leave. I tried for the passenger door. It took me more resistance than I expected, so I flaunted my first try. I guess it's been a while since I've been in a car. Yeah, this is a classic truck. I tried for the passenger door. It took I climb in and sit down. The seat is a bit low but comfortable. I can completely see over the dashboard. Pilar gets in on the other side and looks at me. Safety first, she says, making a motion of the seat wheel being dragged across her chest. I'm not used to being in an automobile. I actually can't remember the last time I was in one. My sister never had one. My family never did either. Before all of this, we just walked to get around. This is a place that relies a bit more on these things, though. I buckle up. Claire does the same. The turn of the ignition clicks on the radio. It's playing a news broadcast. Claire turns it off. I found the action agreeable. Yeah, no one wants to be hearing bad news all the time, right? The sounds of the engine fills the cabin. Claire pushes the gas pedal and the engine roars at us. We roll off. I can feel the weight of the truck shift as we accelerate forward. It's familiar but comfortable in a way I'm not used to. On my bike, I'm used to dealing with potholes and bumps and the truck just glides over them. It's a lot faster too. It leaves me with a strange feeling. I won't cite you for turning up your company back, don't worry. It's against the rules? It's been that way as long as I've been riding it. As far as I'm concerned, it's the way it should be. That was my sister's doing. And besides, I'm not an employee, right? Courier smiles, keeping her eyes on the road. For legal reasons, you're Clara Lapine today. Make sure you remember that. I'll try, but I'm not used to lying. I thought you'll actually have to, but just in case. I nod to signal my understanding and the conversation drop off. We drive in silence for the rest of the way. When we get stopped in the gate of the base, a guard steps out from their boot and walks over the driver's side window. Correa hands over a piece of paper to him and the guard looks it over. After a few moments, he gives an affirmative nod and sends us on our way. The guards at the courier seem to have done this completely non-verbally. I guess for some reason she's allowed here. They didn't even ask her for Clara's ID. Actually, I don't think the guard ever noticed I was in the first place. I'm gonna save this, just in case something happens. We drive by several large buildings. They're all painted the same color and they look similar. I guess the Gamma Defense Forces are big on the beach. It's the cheapest one, right? We drive in a bit further and stop at the building. There's military trucks parked outside and some regular ones. A few people are milling around. Guess this is the depot. Courier parks the truck and turns off the engine. The engine off, I'm sorry. What are we picking up anyway? It's nothing special. We're replacing some of the engine's units in the basement. Those boxes you were poking around in the office? Yes. What's wrong with them? Well, there's some incremental improvements, but I think more than anything else, they are old. What do you mean? The model's out of fabrication. Hard to find parts for them, so it's easier to just replace them with what they give out now. Before they give out. I nod silently. I guess that makes sense. My sister fixed a tear in my dress once. There's a little patch over it now, but I guess it's not the same for a machine. The units are special orders, so the post office won't deliver them. That's why we're here to pick them up. Alpha and must be work very closely with the military these days, huh? It's a good business relationship. The amount of money the military spends on long-distance lines is unfathomable. I guess the cult I heard recently confirms that. That business relationship allows me to pull some strings too, so it's a win-win. Anyway, let's go to work. Almost immediately I feel eyes on me from the soldiers nearby. I guess they're not used to seeing civilians here. I guess I'm not used to seeing them either. It feels like this whole area appeared out of nowhere. There was just a train station here before and now a whole base that sprung around it. We just have to make friends. The soldiers are in the standard issue grey uniform but not armed. Some of them are smoking cigarettes and some are talking to each other. Some are just staring at me and it's weird. It makes me want to shout something. But I'm being Clara today. I stay close to Courier, who seems unfazed by the attention. She walks with purpose inside the building and I follow. Inside there's a very large room. It goes so deep that it's hard for me to make sense of. There's a conglomeration of boxes and crates on tall shelves, rows upon rows of them. Some boxes are wrapped in tarp and some are open, maybe pending an inspection. There's a crew of people driving forklifts around, and a few people on foot with clipboards and the like. They are wearing the same grey uniform. It's elaborate. I've never seen anything quite like it. In front of the shelves in this area dedicated to reception, a huge empty foyer. Concrete. Empty, save for a secretary staring at a mahogany desk in the middle of the room. Mahogany? She's not only more well dressed than everyone else, wearing a skirt and blouse, with her hair done up in a bun. In a bun like a bunny? She's wearing glasses too. The spitting image of a secretary really, yeah, that's what I was thinking. She's plugging away at some of those machines familiar to me. A typewriter, I think. She's focused on her work. Courier walks up to the desk and she stops typing. The secretary looks at Courier and then to me, giving me some sort of indiscernible look. I do my signature move, avoid eye contact. That's a good signature move. I have a manifest for a shipment. The secretary says nothing, may hand motion like gimme. Courier extends a paper in response and the secretary takes it quickly, pushing up her glasses to review it. Alkaline, her voice is H and raspy. Sounds like how cigarettes smell. That's very descriptive actually, I like it. Notably uncharacteristic considering her young looks. The woman clacks away at the typewriter for a while and we stand there restlessly. Who's the missus? She says without looking up at the machine. I immediately feel like my face flush. I hope we don't get in trouble for this. She's my assistant, first day on the job. I guess you call them a technically correct statement. But time to start, don't you think? I'll look after her. I wanted to hear it from her. The woman stops typing, looking straight to me. She seems to have the... Why is people like that? You know, I have known some shy people in my life, and like these like secretaries and teachers usually seem to like want to bully shy people. It's like, I want you to tell it to me. Speak properly. It's like, if they are shy, just let them be, right? God damn it, I hate people. I hide behind Courier. Oi, you. Courier gives me a shove away from her. Mean. You cut out for this kind of work? Is everyone in the military like this? If I were you, I would quit. Move far down the south. Fly down to the coast and live a quiet life. And for the love of God, don't have kids. Wow, that's really mean. I don't like you. What? I look to Courier for escape. Courier looks at me sternly. I guess she wants me to come up with a convincing lie. Move far down south? Fly down to the coast? She's with the military, right? Isn't she here to protect our country? Why would she tell me to run away? I I've been running away for so long. I don't want to run away anymore. I just want to spend more time like this. I don't want to run away. This is my home. I don't have anywhere else to be. I say what I know to be true. I don't know what else to say. The secretary looks at me and then back to Career. I can tell what she's thinking. She sighs, seemingly somewhat defeated. She presses a button on the typewriter and it makes a long cling. A small parchment comes out of the top of the machine. She tears it off and hands it to Career. I'll have my guys on it. You two can wait in the break room. 3 minutes stops. I guess we got a little fizzy. The office lady waves her finger towards two sad-looking folding chairs not far away from her desk. I guess that's the break room. Claire says nothing and turns around. She seems not to be headed for the break room. We walk out of the building, following a dirt road on the side of the building. And while I'm not sure of where we're going, I follow her anyway. I look at Courier, who seems to be deep in thought. She's not looking at me, but she's not looking at anything else either. I've never seen her make a face like that. Did you make up your mind yet, Anna? What? About the job. Will you take it? I think I know what I want to do. I guess I'll just keep doing as I have. I'll continue to work for Alkaline, officially or not. I want to be there when Clara comes home. Yeah, I figure. You're like that. Like what? You persist, Anna. Even when you have no right to. And that's why you'll do this. That's why you're walking in this direction. That's why you haven't turned around yet. She seems to act like she's known me for a long time. You'll do this and you'll do it well. What do you really know about me, Career? You're just here to do your job. I'm here to do mine. Is it any more complicated than that? We continued walking in silence as the city of soldiers around us is increasing as we go. It gets noisy and cramped. I hear shouting and the sound of metal clanging against metal. Engines ripping. We are eventually swallowed within the sea of people and she takes my hand. I can see above anyone. I just see grey uniforms and boots. I will guess at this point we are somewhere in the middle of the base. Beryl holds my hand tightly and I hold hers back. I don't know where we're going, but I trust her direction. Suddenly, someone grabs Courier by the shoulder. I can see. I hear a voice, but I can't make out what it's saying. I can hear Courier say something bad, but I can't make out that either. I can feel her hand being pulled away from mine. I try to hold on, but I can't. I'm alone in the crowd. I can't see anything. I can't hear anything. I can't feel anything. I feel panic rising in my chest, but it's the only thing I can think of. I try and push my way through the crowd in the direction that Courier disappeared to. For some reason, I worry that I look silly doing this. Eventually, the crowd clears out and I find myself in a plaza surrounded by a sea of tents. There's a few people around, but they all seem to be going about their own business and not paying me any mind. What happened, damn it? I see Courier standing some ways away with someone. They seem to be wearing a similar uniform to her. The guy is making a lot of hand motions. I can tell what he's saying, but it definitely looks like trouble. Courier looks at me as if trying to signal something. I don't know what she's trying to say. I move closer and I start being able to make the conversation. What's the situation? One of our transformers blew out and we need to get it fixed ASAP. We're running out of backup power, and it's not going to last long. We need to bridge gap until a new one can be installed, but none of our guys know how to do it. I'm really happy you happen to be here. Your timing is impeccable as always. The Superior grabs Courier by the shoulder and pulls her with him. I start to follow the two, but the guy stops me. He seems a little shocked. Ah, don't trouble yourself, General. We'll have this fixed in no time. I stop in my tracks. General? What's she talking about? Where's the Surus here? No need for concern. It's a quick fix. Courier speaks to me in a robotic tone as she's never met me before. I guess she wants me to play along. I'll just wait here then. The Superior seems confused with my response, but doesn't seem to have time to question it. He turns around and walks off with Courier. Am I being confused with my sister or something? I'm left alone in the plaza with nothing to do but wait. Alone. I look around. At the center of the plaza is a big statue which seems to have been constructed somewhat haphazardly. It's a monument of what I presume to be a war hero. I don't know who though. History was never something I was very interested in. Same. I sit down on the base of the statue twiddling my thumbs. A few minutes pass and we all say to said anxiously, I hope Cory comes back to save me soon. A group of soldiers emerge from a dump and I hide my body behind the statue. I hear them talking and I peek around the statue to see what they are doing. They are all wearing standard issue uniform, but they are armed. They are carrying rifles and they are all wearing helmets. Is this some sort of exercise? I watch them walk past me and a sigh of relief. I guess I'm safe. I really don't want to be seen by anyone else. I should probably try and find a better hiding spot. I get up and I start walking off in the direction that seems to be the least precarious or that still has a good view of the building that Corinne went into. In all honesty, it's more of a random direction. I get off and I start walking. Oh wait, I walk for a few minutes. I learn a couple of things. One, a military base is a terrible place to hide. There's no cover and there's people everywhere. Two, it's big. I have no idea where I ended up. I found myself in some sort of tent city. I sit down on a crate trying to look aloof like those soldiers did on their break. I get kind of to it and start dreaming about being a soldier. I imagine myself in a uniform with a rifle and a helmet. I imagine myself being a hero and saving the day. The bubble pops when I hear a voice call out. You! The haze of my new life says soldier is taking away and it's placed a rifle pointed towards me. What are you doing here? There better be a damn good reason. Does too. Can't cut your tongue? You're acting all super suspicious, you know that? Super duper suspicious. This is called Twin Tails and the other one is called Helmet. You aspire something? I can't think of a better explanation. They push at me with their rifles a little more with each exchange, making me at most fall off the crate. They seem somewhat of a sink in the routine of questioning me. This is a terrible place to run into them. I was sent here. One of the girls raised their eyebrows at this. I'm here with Alkaline Corp service representative. She's getting apart for me. I point toward Alkaline building in the distance. It's not really a lie. You with the phone company? She seems to take that accusatory tone. I am. The warm girl stops pointing her gun at me, even going so far as to put it on her shoulder. I guess I'm not a threat. Well, I can see why they didn't choose you. What do they... The other laughs under her breath. I know that uniform. You're the one of the Hello Girls. Of the Hello Girls? Even more naive than I thought. That's, good for you. You give it the good work. Well, you can rough and keeping doing whatever, sitting down and pressing buttons. I'll just be here, you know, keeping the country ours. I noticed something strange about one of them. Can I ask, what happened to your helmet? It seemed to have caught them off guard with that. That's not your business. We take turns wearing it. Don't tell her that. She grabs the other hands and starts. Yeah, I was wondering that. Well, this is more like a cap, right? This is like a cap, and this is like a helmet. This one has like a little shovel here. Come on, we're out of here. Screw this loser. They make their way towards the plaza while occasionally giving me dirty glances over their shoulders. I felt that I'd blown my cover a little, so I started walking off in the opposite direction. Suddenly, a group of tall men in a green uniforms emerged from out of the building in front of me. They are wearing a lot of medals and are speaking loudly to each other. One of the men steps up to me quickly. He calls out to me, speaking in a deep voice. So there you are. We've been looking all over for you. If I knew we were looking for a woman, I would have gone told the grounds to look a bit closer to the ground. He cracks a smith at me. The rest of the group hardly laughs in a very pleasant manner. I'm not sure if I should run or play along. Come on, we're about to begin. He grabs me by my shoulder, talking me along to the greater group. We pass by the twins, their mouths hanging open in pure shock. Oh no, what's going to happen? But that's not... We disappear into a tent and everyone sits down at the table. I don't like this. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing, so I just follow along and take a seat as well. Everyone opens up their briefcases and pulls off a bunch of papers and folders. Open my left is a big burly guy. He lights a cigar and starts to read through a stack of papers. They're all stamped with red ink that says classified. The one on my right rolls off on a right of Polaroids. I can't really tell for what's sure what I'm looking at. It looks like a bunch of flesh. Nothing looks right about it all. Oh no. I'm really not supposed to be here. A man takes a stand moving in front of the big whiteboard. He's wearing a very fancy uniform and has a lot of medals on his chest. He opens his mouth. Alright everyone, let's get started. General, it's good to have you here. I'm Colonel Harris of the 3rd Signal Stallions Brigade. I apologize that we couldn't have this conversation over the phone, but some things are too important to risk the enemy interception. We had some engagements in the last few days that suggest that managed to decode our comms. He's talking to me? What is he talking about? Why do they keep calling me General? Who do they think I am? Your sister? I'm not certain that any comes beyond some of the frontline combat units have been compromised, and it's quite unlikely our main command channels are at risk, but the rate at which their efforts are progressing is a little concerning. As a result, we decided that briefing containing information about target Rabbit Zero will get strictly in person for the time being. We appreciate you taking the time to fly out here. Did you say the enemy is tapping our phones? I feel more confused and uneasy with each passing moment. I don't think I should be here. I begin to worry what will happen when they find out who I really am. What should I say? Of course. Let's proceed. We intercepted some enemy transmission that seem to mention increased. I'm gonna save in case there's like towards the northern. I wonder why is this like a VHS tape type of menu. Am I watching a movie? It's not whether the enemy's information is accurate, but we have already confirmed increasing enemy troops movement towards their sector as early 18 hours ago. It's not believable they commit such strong volume to deception campaign, so they must be onto something. The colonel pauses and seems to expect me to say something. Maybe it looks as nervous as I feel inside. He narrows his eyes a little. My throat is bone dry. Ah! I can't speak or even think. I'm not supposed to be here. They say in the news that spies get executed, but I'm not a spy. This is just a mistake. Surely they'll understand. Suddenly, we're interrupted by a shout from the outside, and I hear someone enter the tent behind me. Thank God. Colonel, my apologies, but we need the general out here right now. What's happening? Excuse me. This classified briefing. I'm sorry, but this sergeant, I require the general's attention for just a moment. Before anyone can say anything else, Korea escorts me out of the tent, moving with an urgency I've never seen from her. Oh, thank goodness. But what's happening, I don't know. She shifts towards the crowd, nearly dragging me behind her. We dive into the mess of soldiers and again, and I cannot but have on and trust that she knows where to go. Her grip on my hand is much tighter than before. Eventually, I see Korea's truck loaded up with that must be the parts that we had to come for. We're climbing while speaking, and she steers towards the exit. We arrive at the gate, where Korea suddenly hands the guard some sort of receipt. I sit as quietly as possible, trying to will myself out of existence. The guard walks towards the bed and truck and briefly looks over our cargo. After a moment, he hands the receipt back to Courier, letting us go with a nod. As we finally make it outside the base perimeter, I let out a slow, deep exhale. I hadn't realized I was holding my breath. Courier turns out of the dirt road that runs off the base, and we drive wordlessly towards the town. There's no light breeze today, and the plains shimmer in the glow of the afternoon sun. Normally, I love this sort of view, but today I can bring myself to enjoy this scene. Courier had been periodically glancing to the rearview mirror. She seems inordinately tense. I wonder if she's worried about being followed. After a few minutes, Courier finally breaks the silence. Anna. What did you do? I don't know why she took so long to ask me that. I'm caught completely off guard. I tried to remember what meeting was about. The words are badly registered. It's a mess. It all happened so fast, I didn't really understand. They said the enemy is tapping our phone lines, I think, and they mentioned something called Rabbit Zero. Apparently it was too important to talk about the phone. They went out for a while about scouting, and then you showed up. Courier's usually stoic expression has shifted one of worry. Damn. Do you know anything about that stuff? No. But I do know that usually we're not supposed to hear any of that. We could lose our jobs over this, or worse. Her voice has taken a shaky tone. This is bad, maybe really bad. Courier looks into the rear mirror. We have to lay down for a while. Courier rubs her temples with one hand, keeping the other one steering wheel. How did you even end up there? After real life I was just, I don't know, trying to stay out of the way, I guess. I ran into these military brats and those officers showed up out of nowhere. Before I even knew what was happening, they took me into the tent. I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening to my ability to read right now. Well, I've been reading for like 2 hours, so I guess it makes sense. I think they mistook me for someone else. Maybe you look like someone who's in charge there, like your sister. Your sister isn't some kind of official or anything, right? I shake my head. Oh, she was like a medic, right? My sister couldn't be in charge of anything like that. No way. Courier groans. I can make sense of this. Courier looks behind her and the loaded bed of truck. I can't believe those soldiers actually help us load this stuff. I hope they got everything right. I'm not even sure if I can go back there. They might be thinking I'm working with you or something. You're working with me though. Right, but not like that. If someone recognizes you as the girl that crashed their top secret meeting, and I was the one who pulled you out of it, I'm beginning to get the picture. You said you see girls from the military around town? Don't talk to them anymore. If they ask you anything, just say you don't know anything. I really don't think those goofballs will be able to get anything out of me, but I know it anyway. Sorry. If they ask you about me, say you don't know me. If they ask you about the meeting, say you don't know anything about it. You don't even know what a meeting is. Got it? You're just a dumb kid who doesn't know anything. She lets out a deep exhale and the worry on her face melts a little. I'm sorry, Anna. This is all my fault. I wasn't thinking straight when I brought you along. I should have known that you... But her thread's off and I can see her expression shift as it's discarding the thought. For a few moments, we drive in silence. I didn't have time to look into that idea yet. No. I'm sure if it's a good idea. I'm not sure if it's a good idea. That's our ace here. They don't know who you are. As far as they know, you're nameless and faceless. That's good. You don't even work for Alkaline. Yes, we have to keep it that way. Maybe in a few days they'll just have forgotten about this. Ferreira smiles wryly. If they really did think you're a general and you had run off out you never return, I don't know. Once they realize you weren't who they would tell you were, yeah, that's what I was thinking. They might be looking for you. I'm sorry. I don't mean to scare you. Things will be fine. I'm sure of it. I want to believe that things will work out. Somehow they always have up until now. But I can shake the feeling that this time is different. The rest of the car rides passes quietly under the settling sun, but now the quiet is more tired instead of tense. The events of the day have taken their toll on both of us. When we get home, it's nearly dark. I restlessly shuffle around in bed, trying but failing to get comfortable. Corinne insisted on staying the night, worried that something might happen if she didn't. It's nice to have her company. Though now that she's settled into silence, the anxiety about the day has begun to creep back in. I think about the weird things I heard. What could happen if the enemy really tapping our phones? And what is Rabbit Zero? Those pictures were really scary. I try to shake the bad thoughts away like they're insects. Yeah, that's something like I don't think this kid can forget easily. Maybe counting sheep will be more worthwhile. I envision sheep jumping over a barn fence. Smile and fluffy. 1, 2, 3. This game is gonna make me fall asleep in a good way. I'm in a cage. Something doesn't feel right about my skin. It stings, like being stung by a million wasps at once. The room is bright, it's hard to keep my eyes open. Tenderness throughout. A deep, gravelly voice. Skin like a tree bark. A face like a dog. Of course, it can be corrected, but... Cooperation is critical. Nails are pushed into every little spot on my body. Somehow, it doesn't hurt. It feels natural, like breathing. I ruminate on the sensations throughout my body. Then I notice. My blood feels wrong. It's tingling, a sensation I never felt before. I can tell if it hurts or if it feels good. Oh. A new sensation, like falling through a trapdoor. My body tenses up as it sinks. Rainbows across my vision. Unexplainably terrifying. Types of things you couldn't possibly imagine. Sorry, on purpose. Impossible shapes. The only intelligible part of this terror that emanates from them. Phase 3. What the hell is happening in this game? I set the teacups down on the table. Korea looks up and smiles, appreciating the gesture. After what happened yesterday, I feel like it's right to treat ourselves a little today. I get up to search the cupboard for the jar of sugar. Sugar for your tea? You don't have to waste something so nice on me. It's not trouble at all. Thank you. We sit and enjoy our tea and oatmeal. It seems like a good night rest and he put us at ease after what happened yesterday. Vera's here today for another day of maintenance. With that part we picked up yesterday, she should be able to make a lot more progress. I try to think about how I'm gonna occupy my time. It's been a while since I haven't had to worry about work. And I don't think I should try to get in Korea's way if she doesn't need me today. Maybe this will be a good time to get back to those books Clara left me. Another day of artist work for Korea. Not for me. So today I'll assume I got to go smoothly and without incident. Courier pulls her truck down and starts the engine. That sounds cutting to the crickets. After a few moments, the truck begins to rumble away into the night. I consider waving goodbye this time around, but at the time I decide it's too late. Oh well. Something bad's gonna happen, right? Yeah. Something bad's gonna happen. Alone in the dark quiet of the switchboard room, I shiver a little bit from the cold draft let in. Strange. I thought I closed the door. Oh no. A footstep from behind me. No. I hope that's not Courier. A long blade at my neck. Time seems to stop at this moment. The shape is cold and foreign. You move, you're dead. There's blood in the hands. But it seems to be like a standard issue uniform, right? Completely frozen in place, my arms sustain firmly in my sides with my hands outward. I catch a whiff of sweat and blood, but no, it's not mine. I try to say something, anything, but nothing comes out. My hand begins to shake as my mind races for a million different conclusions. Got it? A voice I don't recognize. Hide and withdrawn. Yes. Okay, it's not clear. I finally managed a word. The pale hands in front of me tighten their grip, sending chills down my spine. What did I tell you yesterday? What? In the tent. The barracks. What did the generals tell you? My breathing becomes shakier and my confusion grows. I don't... They just... Suddenly words lose all their meaning. Absent wordless things. Stop fucking around. The left arm of the bladed girl wrenches on my shoulder, pulling it back, forcing me to find my balance. The flat of the blade dances along my skin through the struggle, sending shockwaves through my nerves. My eyes dart back and forth into a panic, looking for any resemblance of meaning behind all this. I don't know. You better give me something right now. What does she want from me? I never done anything to hurt anyone else. My face begins to fill with a warm pressure, tears making their way to the surface. I don't deserve to die here. Please. Please, Gabe, don't do this. Through my stammering and sobbing, my voice just barely makes it through. There's a pause from the bladed girl. Rank and position. What? I gasp for air. I feel almost if I was narrowly avoiding drowning. Sounds with only the one tapping the floor. I notice the grey uniform of the girl. Military, yeah. I'm not military. In one swift action, the girl moves the blade away from my neck and shoves me to the floor. After wiping my face in my sleeve, I take a look at her. Oh? Oh, I guess they went after those girls, right? It's the quiet girl from the patrol I ran to the other day. Oh no. Okay, that seems a little bit bad. If something really bad happens in this game, I will make sure to censor it just in case. She's bloodied from head to toe, her uniform completely tattered. She hits her knife with a look of scorn on her face. The look slowly turns onto one surprise, then to slight concern. She looks around. But of course, I leave alone. I cut off some of the tears I choked down while cursing myself for not locking my door. Think about it your next words wisely. Are you or are you not with the gamut military? No, I'm just a telephone operator for Alkaline. Her eyes widen. If that's true, then why were you wearing that tent yesterday? I don't know, they dragged me over there. I guess if she looks this bad, I guess they killed the other two, right? She looks puzzled. I think they tried was someone else. What did they tell you? I can't remember. It was a lot. Letters and numbers and names. She lowers her head and scratches her neck. I have a feeling that this isn't what she was planned for. Damn. I gather myself and stand back up. Her presence seems to lessen now that I am at A level with her. While I feel I should be more scared at this moment, I feel surprised intact. On the other hand, she looks entirely lost. Hopefully this is just a misunderstanding. She paces around the room for a minute and then looks down at her hands. They are covered in dried blood, someone else's I assume. A whole mix of emotions seems to be running through her. I can see her thoughts racing as she paces around, looking up at the room, at the switchboards, at me. I got a good look at her face. Her long blue hair is covering one of her eyes, which seems to be dripping blood. Can you tell me what's going on? She stops her pacing and looks at me. I feel like I tick her off. She opens her mouth, as if trying to muster up some of the words to throw at me, but she says nothing. Her fists clench and then clench in retreat. I'm dead. I'm a dead man. They are going to find me, and they are going to kill me. Wait, is everyone in here rabbits? Am I a rabbit too? That's why it's Project Rabbit. If you wanted to know what's going on. She grits her teeth and then kicks over a box of foodstuff that sits on the floor. She covers her face in her hands and grunts some swear words. I step closer to her. Are you okay? You look pretty hurt. You're bleeding. The girl stops. She touches her eye and looks down at the blood in her hands. Before I could say anything else, she suddenly gets to her feet and runs out the door. I hope she didn't kill my friend Career, hopefully. Because that blood is on the hands is from someone else. It wasn't easy to sleep after what happened. I get a chill thinking about the look I saw in the girl's eyes. I can only imagine what she went through for her to do what she did to me. I feel I should be angry at her for it, but the feeling just doesn't come. If anything, I feel more helpless. Again. I wonder what Clara would have done. Either way, she's gone now. She only left droplets of blood left on the floor. If they weren't there, I might be tough that the whole thing had happened in the first place. That girl, she seemed haunted by something. I'm just hoping that that's the last I see of her. I close my eyes thinking about what should I do next. Will the police help? I never had to call the police before. On the lines open, I'll try to see if they help. Oh yeah, there's no phone. I roll over lethargic. I yawn and stretch. I'm not sure what time it is, but it's somehow still dark outside. I don't know if I can get any more sleep. I get up and get dressed. It's too early to call the police. I guess I'll go for a walk. This is like a terrible idea, but okay. I start walking down the road towards the town. The sun is just starting to rise. This is strange. I can feel the sun's warmth. Come to think of it, I can't feel anything else either. The post office. I wonder if Merilynn is in yet. The door seems to be open. Why am I using my work stuff? Nobody's here, not even Maillard. I even make the point to check under the desk where she could normally be found slacking off. Maybe I can just... I reach over the counter and kick off with my feet. I squeeze my way through Tila in the back room, and I land on my feet. I have the feeling I'm gonna find all the letters to my sister here, right? Like they are not sending them or something. Because I know that's something they used to do, right? They wouldn't send the cards actually. Of course she's not here. It's too early. She's probably still at home getting her beauty sleep. I don't know why I'm not doing the same. I don't even know why I'm here. I don't know what I expected to find here. I was just trying to go on a walk. Right now, I really just would like to talk to someone. Anyone would do. I just don't want to be alone right now. I understand that feeling usually. Most of the time I'm alone. I think the only time I talk to someone is when I'm streaming. The phone. I don't know there was a phone here. I probably shouldn't pick it up. But there's supposed to not be any calls in here, right? Oh, but local calls can be, right? I will get in trouble, but maybe it's important. Maybe Mother is calling in sick. I don't know. This phone call might be for me. Am I still sleeping? I pick up the receiver. Hello? Hello? If you're not going to say something, I'll just hang up. There's nothing in the universe that is scarier than change. That we must be desired, that we must be seen. It is something I never asked for. If I could have instead been all alone all this time, if I could have been born into a world where I was the only one, then there wouldn't have been any problems. There wouldn't be any pain. If I never looked on the TV, I would have never had the desire to be something great, but that's impossible. You can go your life without meeting anyone. The fact that you were conceived in the first place was a feat of two people's connection. Their dirty, disgusting love. By being in the proximity of others, they hold the power to use you. Man, this game, it's actually talking so much through that it hurts. I don't think that way. That's why I don't really hang out with people or like tell to anyone. All your mother wanted was your happiness. All your father wanted was your success. All your friends wanted was your company. All your teachers wanted was your obedience. All your boss wanted was your labor. All your lover wanted was your affection. It's novel, isn't it? You're just a puppet to them, a doll that can be squeezed for their happiness. Most don't even realize that they're excising it on you, and you didn't even realize it either. Are you okay with that? Everything moves by itself. Nobody's in control of anything. This is the true nature of this world. That's why everything must be destroyed. I never wanted to be changed, but yet I still feel the same curse as everyone else. The one where you want to be loved, the one to be desired, to allow yourself to change. I never took any wrong steps, but everything still ended up all wrong. Clearly, this was the only path I could have taken. I never wanted to hurt anyone, but I still ended up hurting so many people. How do you account for this? Is wanting to be loved something that is not permitted for me? Is it a curse to want to be desired by people? Is it a curse that I have to play this weak role? All for just a fleeting chance of being seen? Do the rules dictate that I must be the monster? I think you might have the wrong number. I don't know who you are, but I don't think I'm the person you're looking for. But if you really want my opinion, I think being loved isn't something so complicated. You don't understand me at all. What? What is with the VHS effects? It's just for like aesthetic, or actually has to do with something? Well, I guess this game has to do with telecommunications and stuff like that, right? And relaying a message, I guess. Recording a VHS tape is kind of leaving a message. I rub my eyes open. I'm back in my room. So that was a dream. It's light out now. What a strange dream. I sit up. Then I see it. The blood? Oh, it's here too. Sitting in the corner. But now it's all patched up. Hugging her knees, bayonet in one hand. The same girl. I scream and backpedal towards the wall of my bed. What is she doing here? She keeps her eyes trained on me, unfazed by my reaction. You! At a complete loss for thoughts, the one comes out of my mouth automatically. Her eyes are studying me all over, but she doesn't move an inch. The look on her face is one of quiet, calculated concentration. We stare at each other for a while. The panic begins to fade the more I look at her. It was hard to see that last night, but I realize now that she's only about my size. Maybe a little bit smaller. I still wonder what she's here for. Why are you here? She breaks her gaze and adjusts her grip on the bayonet. Keeping an eye on you. Just one eye because you don't have the other one. I just don't understand. I already said I don't know anything. That's fine, but see, there's a problem. The thing is that you've seen me. I really don't understand. She sits up and adjusts the large bandage that now covers her eye. She then sheaths her bayonet and walks out of my room. This isn't still a dream, right? Not feeling immediately threatened by her anymore, I get out of bed and start to change. Halfway through putting my dress on, I hear stomping in the other room. The bandaged girl sprints back into my room and puts her back against the wall next to the doorway. She's in full sweat, clearly panicking. You have to get rid of them. Even more confusion. Though I think it's probably just Career arriving. The bandaged girl scrambles over me and suddenly puts her hands on my shoulders. You have to figure this out. You have to get them to leave. I hear the sound of the front door opening and the sound of heavy footsteps. Anna! Bandaged girl clenches her teeth and looks around my room. She makes a dash for the closet but trips on the clothes on the floor. Her head collides with the wall. She then scrambles a ball on the floor. She lies there with her hands on her head, groaning in pain. Anna? I saw blood on the floor. Are you okay? Courier stops as soon as her head pokes into my room. Please don't kill Courier with the knife. A long silence is shared. A rostering crows in the distance. Bandaged girl shakily looks up at Courier, making a surprised face. You're not. She grunts and puts her hands back on her head. Who is that? No one. Bandages Nada and starts to make her way out of the room with her head down. Wait a sec. She's stopping her tracks and slowly looks up at Courier. Courier makes a face when she sees the bandage on the soldier's face. What's going on here? So now her name is Bandages? You ran away from the military? It's not something I can exactly hide anymore. She nervously laughs. They'll hang me for this. Of course they will. You're a deserter. A traitor to the great effort. And it's not a problem. Well, see, it kinda is. If you turn me in, I'll just tell them that you were hiding me. It'll be a fun story. For several days, you let us to stay in your home and not once did you report it. Maybe you were even planning to help me escape. That also carries that penalty. Yeah, that's true. But Ed and I look at each other in disbelief. Some traitor you are. You're just as bad as I am. That can be. Think about it this way. She puts one hand over her eye bandages and points at us with each other. You two are the chosen ones. What? This war is a sham, a complete farce, manufactured to keep us from hiding the truth. Where are you, a chuny now? Did you become a chuny right now? Those bastards in charge will keep you both working until the day you die, and for something you don't even know nothing about. What on earth is she doing on about? Don't you want to know why they are not telling you anything? We are supporting the Eastern Alliance to stop the northern provinces from invading. Yeah, but ever thought about why the NP will try to attack us for no reason? Like I told you, it's all fake. You need to wake up. The girl's completely insane. You need to go. Claire starts to walk towards Bandias in an attempt to shoo her away. Oh, of course. The tool of the state trying to silence me. Claire stops in place. What did you just call me? The only tool here is you coward. Coward? Everyone who works for Alkaline only serves to fool the dead machine. You are about too shallow to understand that. I'm just making it up. Even since I left, I haven't had any of the nightmares. Nightmares? Wait. What do you mean by nightmares? The nightmares, you know. The ones I heard that only happen if you're chosen. She couldn't mean... You need serious help. I'm having the nightmares, right? So that's Project Rabbit or whatever. The commandant seems to bounce off the girl. And you need to wake up Cal. Did you hit your head? Claire gestures towards the girl's head. Yes, but that's not what's important here. Something brought us all together here. There's a divine fate. That's all we share. That's we all share. And she's making all sorts of weird gestures with her hands as she talks. And if you were able to understand just a tenth of what I know, you will agree with me. Claire glares at her, clearly sick of her. Alright, smarty pants. What do you know? The northern provinces have something extremely valuable. I spent weeks gathering intel on it. They plan to use it as a weapon. They are calling it Rabbit Zero. Okay, Rabbit Zero, right? It's more like a weapon. It's not a... like a psyops or something, right? It's like a physical weapon, maybe? Or rather, hair. Oh, it's a person. I heard that name before. Rabbit Zero. They mentioned that in a tent. The girl slowly scrambles her way towards me, putting her face up against mine, or nose as almost touching. So you do remember. What did they say? What did they tell you? I didn't understand any of it. I felt like a bad dream. Are you sure? Please, anything. It's not coming to mind. I'm not a military official or anything. I'm just some girl. I'm sorry. I can't remember. Bandages slump over, visibly disappointed. It's funny that she's now called Bandages. We don't need your name. You're gonna be called Bandages. And the other one's gonna be called Twin Tails. And the other... I wonder if Twin Tails and Hat are okay. Too far. I refuse to let this be the end. She starts to reach behind her. Alright, that's... Korea reaches over and grabs her by the ears. Ow, ow. Let go of me, you freak! Korea drags her off the field and throws her into the bedroom. What? There's a low thud. Korea comes back on and closes the door behind her. She puts her back to the door to prevent it from opening. Badia's girl giggles the doorknob a few times and pounds on the door. You can't do this! Anna, get me that chair over there. But isn't there a window in that room? And she wedges in under the doorknob. Well, I guess she doesn't want to come out in case someone finds her, right? She pounds the door again. This is wrong. Korea and I look at each other. She has to look at the exhaustion even though the day has only started. You're gonna need a stronger prison to hold back my power. Nobody can contain Junusa Moonbeam. Yeah, she's definitely a chuny. What is happening with this game? It was like a really wholesome game for a minute, and there started to become like social horror, and then it became like normal horror with like someone killing you, but then it didn't kill you, and then it's now like a comedy, but everything is working really well, so I'm not gonna complain a bit. Yusuna Moonbeam. Okay, Okay, guys, please. I promise I won't hurt you. I'm sorry. You're lucky I'm showing you mercy by not breaking your stuff. Is that really your name? What? Yunusa Moonbeam? Yunusa Moonbeam. How did you know that? No, it's not. Can we just call her something else? Bandages. I don't think she deserves a cute name like that. You know? Anyone was coming from the bedroom. You can just call me Juno. How about we call you whatever we want, you little brat? I don't even know what's happening anymore. Man, this is a really long game. I feel like I'm halfway through the game, barely, and it's been like 2 hours. Throughout the day, we continue to hear a few bumps coming from behind the bedroom door. At 2 eventually they're quiet. Miraculously, Courier has managed to work another full day. I really applaud her work ethic, and for dealing with that girl. She said the grades were virtually finished, just that there were some tests and formalities to take care of. But what are we gonna do to the girl? Courier emerges from the basement covered in dirt and dust. She dusts herself off and wipes the sweat off her forehead. Okay, we might be finished here. I slowly close my book, the idea of working again swirling around my head. I'm wondering what my job looks like now with the new upgrades. Courier walks over to the switchboard desk, where a new machine now sits. She told me before that it's a teletypewriter. A machine that transmits written messages. She sits in the seat and starts fiddling with some of its buttons. Shuffling from behind the bedroom door, I had almost forgotten that Juno was left in there. Juno, are you okay? Can I tell you a story? Courier stops what she's doing and turns towards the door. I was only in the Gamut infantry for about half a year. But about a month ago, there was a all-hands-on-deck situation on the border northern pole of the Northern Providences. We knew this meant combat of some sort, but none of us would have expected what happened. There was a build-up of NP troops along our border. With how cautious their behavior had been in the months before, no one was expecting combat on our land so soon. A lot of the infantry was split into smaller units to hold specific points along the border. These units all had set up their own camps. And my unit was the most remote of all of them. The nearest other unit was 30 miles away. Because I was the newest recruit, I was in charge of patrolling the perimeter of the camp overnight. Talk about punching down, huh? And despite trying to do my best at the assignment, it wasn't enough. While my unit slept, an enemy-covered unit from the NP had infiltrated their tents during the night and held them at gunpoint. They trotted them out of the field and stripped them of their gear, and then they began to execute them, one by one, slowly. I watched from a distance. I couldn't make a sound. Now, normally, most nations follow international conventions that state that medics are not to be targeted during combat, but the MP doesn't follow these guidelines at all. The medics were executed as well. I was the only one survivor of that unit. After this happened, nothing felt real anymore. I couldn't sleep for what felt like days, and when I could find out nightmares I was already having worsened. I could not stop thinking about those poor medic girls and their families. My sister, right? Yeah, if they are not respecting the conventions about medics, my sister is dead. I think it was understood that I was not good on the front lines anymore, and so I was resigned to patrolling smaller towns. But on occasion I had to this at the base. I used the opportunity to find as much information as I could on the war. I wanted to find some sort of reason for this cruelty. Why and how people could do this to each other. I'm not sure why I'm even telling you this right now. You do have nothing to do with any of this. I'm sorry for causing you so much trouble. The medics were executed. The medics were executed. The medics were executed. The words repeated in my head over and over. Breathing is difficult. Seeing is difficult. Thinking is difficult. I'm shaking, trying my hardest not to heave. Clara, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me that medics were in this much danger? You're coming back, right? You're coming back, right? Please, please come back. I wish you never left. The medics were executed. She didn't mean you, right? There are hundreds, thousands of medics out there, but the tears happen automatically, uncontrollably, countless. Why? I knew that this was possible. I knew that you might not come back. What did I assume you would? The medics were executed. It hurts. Clara. Anna? Corey looks at me with concern. I feel too ashamed to ever look at her in her face, so I turn my back at her. There's no reason why I should be seeing me like this. Anna, are you okay? No, I'm not. The words are stuck in my throat. Anna, I'm sure it wasn't Clara. There's more shuffling from behind the door. I shouldn't have said anything. Anna, there are hundreds if not thousands of people just like Clara waiting to come home safely. The words hardly mean anything to me. Did you not know? Is this how she wanted to tell me? I spin 100 conspiracies in my head, all of them that Clara is gone. Help. Someone. Anyone. Corey puts her hand over my shoulder. The touch makes me jump. Corey lifts her hair. Oh wait. Sorry. I should probably get back to it. She sits back down on the console, waiting a few moments before continuing her work. I lie down on the cold floor. Tears make little pools on top of my closed eyelids. Clara, I'm scared. What is it I'm supposed to do? Whenever I get like this, you always just stomp me on the head and say, don't think about it too hard. And then suddenly it all makes sense. Clara, are you doing okay? Are you having your favorite tea? Are they treating you right? I'm sure that your efforts are helping and I will turn the tides. But, please write me back. I don't know which direction is the right one. I don't mind the look on your face when you get my letters. I remember you always told me that I have the silliest little smile. I never told you that yours look exactly the same. I start to hear Courier's voice from across the room. Station 45 East. Telephone exchange Station 45 East. The sound of her voice stopped my cascading thoughts. Confirming installation of AW multiplexer. Dear Reed, please send and transmission. There's a satisfying timbre to her voice, but putting together a puzzle. Please. Courier takes a deep breath, takes off her headset, and then stands up and paces around the room slowly. She looks out of the window, removing her cap and running her hand through her hair. She gives me an occasional glance through her paces. She doesn't have to worry about me. I'll be fine. She sits back down at the console. Transmission received. Station 45 East. Please send test telegraph. A machine whirls slowly, metallic pings cutting through the silence of the room. A thin slip of paper with words stamped on it comes from the teletypewriter. Courier doesn't seem to react. She stares at the paper. Normally it'd be amusing to see something new like this, but I cannot think about Clara. We'll have to talk about it. We'll have. My stomach drops after thinking about that word. Would. I wonder how many would haves you had in mind. What would have done in the past week if you were here? It would have been a fun vacation for the two of us. Station 45. Telegraph received. Stand by. I hear her unplug from the monitor. She hastily dials another number and plugs it back in. She starts to bite her fingernails. Maybe she's rushing through this to get her home sooner. I'd probably do the same. It's me, Courier. Yes. Yes, certainly. Tonight? A conversation with HQ. That hotel is... But She sighs. I'm not sure if it's a frustration or something else. Understood. Thank you. Goodbye. She stops, looking at the crack in the ceiling. There's a look in her eyes I've never seen before. Actually, one last thing. Starting immediately, I'm resigning from my position at Alkaline. It was a pleasure working with you all. Goodbye. She takes her headset off, almost throwing what? It then leans over the desk, her face buried in her hands. I immediately get to my feet, trying to steady my shaky legs. Courier? They wanted to send her to like a different place, right? Before I could say anything else, she rushes away from the switchboard. Oh, that's kinda sweet. Actually, really sweet. And grabs her arms around me. I refuse to believe that there is people this nice out there, but I have to believe it for the sake of the game. She's so warm. Although this is the first time I've ever been this close to her. Somehow it doesn't feel strange at all. Sorry, it's like she's been there all my life. Oh, I put my arms around her back, still shaky. I feel like there's the right thing to do. I smell the dozen chemicals that stain her overalls. The marks of a hard worker. I bury my head in her chest a bit more. The sound of her heartbeat. Something about the steady rhythm calms me. A constant in a world of inconsistencies. Did she really quit for me? The thought makes breathing difficult. Over these days, I found myself secretly wishing she would have to leave. And now she doesn't have to. Well, she has to find a job, right? The worries that plague me are being washed away with every beat of her heart. And what's gonna happen with the girl in the room? A song I couldn't listen to forever. Anna, I hope this is okay. I find it a little funny she'd even worry. I feel there's been some sort of telepathic contract already seen between the both of us the moment we hug. So of course, it's okay. She holds me a little bit tighter. And she starts crying, a sniffle from her. The teary kind. I am happy you're here. I'm happy you're here too. You know, I'm sure Clara's fine. And I'm sure you're scared. But if it helps, I can stick around for a little while. But, really, it's fine. I almost asked another question, but I let it go before it spoils the moment. Maybe things don't have to make sense all the time. But they do have to make sense. I know this is extremely cute and poetic, but they still do have to make sense. But sometimes the best things in life are the ones that don't make sense, right? Cory stuck around for the night. She seemed really happy to keep me company. We talked about our lives and upbringings. I enjoyed learning about her. She'd previously never been so willing to share anything about herself. I could tell she was really committed to the professionalism. But once that she was clear of their way, I can no longer saw Cory as the alkaline representative, just as a girl. A girl who gave really nice hugs. You know what's mysteriously sudden after telling that story? We found out that she had escaped through the window of my bedroom sometime during the night, yeah. Something told us that we wouldn't be seeing her again. I felt a little bad for her. For as unhinged as she was, it was hard to stay angry at her now that I knew what she had been through. I hope that she finds what she's looking for. Life is back to its usual slow pace again. Cory is here to help me while you're gone. When you come back, let's have tea together. I'll be waiting warmly. Hello, girl. Is a mailbox in the grass outside of Anna's home. A piece of paper is tugged along by the wind, almost but not quite making out of the mailbox. The wind lets up a little. The paper returns to the bottom of the mailbox, left to face the sun and the elements. Small girl and tall girl. Consider this a notice, or rather a warning. Rabbit Zero will end the world. No one knows her better than I do. Rabbit Zero is going to kill us all, and we won't ever know why we're here dying. We were vaporized, we were melting into the concrete, we were screaming for anything but our painful ends. Who really keeps us safe? Who really understands us? Is it our lovers? Our parents? Our friends? Our siblings? No. According to many, it's the smooth crown barrel of a rifle. For the blood being shed every day to the battlefields of our very country, we can't help but sit and sob into our hands every night wishing for any type of meaning. It's great to be patriotic. I live for my country, and unfortunately many seem to think that this also implies that I will die for it too. This patriotism is nothing but a manufactured ideal of one made to drive the profit, so every bigwig who understands that farming steel into weapons is the greatest way to guarantee their spot in heaven. This exerting power born of the dam of the useful age eventually formed into a repugnant project to craft the next leader of the world, the perfect little girl, an universally understood symbol of good. That's the project then, and for the things that they did to her, I will see that their heads are mounted above my fireplace. There are lots of scribbled out words here. Surely you understand what Rabbit Zero has told you in your dreams. I saw the looks on your faces when I told you about them. I know you know. She tried exclaiming from the top of her lungs to all the living beings the torment she endured and continues to endure. Now notice I said, continues. Rabbit Zero is being held by the MP in a pool of water underground, and little do they know, this is only a stopgap. Idiots. Over there think that there's something to be gained from her flesh and bone. Some kind of magical properties. I think you understand what they want to be magical. Just a sprinkle of her power. For what? Control? Is that all they really want? Is that all that anyone ever wants? Just living every single day with oil in her lungs and every crevice of her body. Can you feel her? Can you understand her? To live every single day as an abomination when all you wanted was to finally be accepted. I can tell you what I plan to do, but just know that this will certainly be the last time you ever hear of me from me. You know Sam Moonbeam. Is that now the end? Yeah, that's the end. Okay. Well. That was Hello Girl by Merilynn F. Paisley, right? Uh, Jesus, I don't know what to say about this game, but at the same time, I have a lot of things to say about this game. I certainly wasn't expecting this. I think I have played a bunch of visual novels in my time, right? As a VTuber, it's been like what, like 200 visual novels, 300 visual novels. I don't think I have played something quite like this, but as far as I'm trying to, I can get the words to explain this visual novel. I'm still processing a lot of what happened, right? And it's the way that it's written that it's really good. I think this is one of the few visual novels that actually feel like visual novels and not just like a novel or like a book written. Outside that, I think the characters are really cute. Everyone looks really depressed. Of course, it's war times, right? So I could relate to a lot of what Anna was thinking. Like, she seems like kind of retracted from society and a little bit ignorant in the sense of like a country bumpkin would be like, not ignorant because she can't learn, but just that she didn't have the necessity or like the ways of learning stuff, right? So it's someone that's really smart but didn't have like proper ways of learning the world. Of course, she reads books and she knows how to handle the machines. The story, it's really compelling too, right? Like the sister leaving her younger sister to take care of the job, so she had something to do in case she doesn't come back, right? And yeah, I do believe she died in the front lines, sadly. Uh, there's a bunch of plot twists I didn't see coming, and all the dream sequences were very like confusing, but in a good way. Not confusing that I couldn't understand anything, but like confusing for the main character, and like the hidden meanings of everything. There's a few things I still don't understand. I'm gonna need some time to think about this visual novel, right? So I think this is like, even if you watch this video, even if you make it to the end, I think this is a game worth playing by yourself. I always mentioned that I like choices in my visual novels, and this game didn't have any choices to make, but somehow it was for the better, because I think this story should be told in a straight line, like in a straight way, because everything that they say, it's important, right? It's building up to something. I like the quote unquote like supernatural undertone with the Rabbit Girl project, whatever. Rabbit Zero. I want to know more about that. I hope this game has a sequel, or it has to do with other games by this developer. I don't know if this developer has other games. I will have to check. Because the dreams, like the military experiments and stuff like that, seems really interesting. But I'm also glad that wasn't the most important thing in the game, right? Because if you make a game like it's only that at the forefront of the game, it becomes kind of dull and generic. And the fact that they took the approach to the story like this orphan girl that lost her sister to the war and is trying to do her best and is living like the same day over and over again, and she's getting used to it, and I can definitely relate to living the same day. It's a bit boring sometimes, but it's comforting the same way, right? At least for me. I could really relate to DMC on this one. Maybe that's why I think this game is so amazing. Definitely in my top 5 of visual novels. I do like Courier. It's really, I like the names of the characters too, like Courier, like the one from the library. It's also really cute. The character itself is really cute, but at the same time, like really depressing. Which is kind of sad saying these characters, but no, it is what it is, right? Yeah, visually it's really
like well done according to the story. I got really tense in that military part. I got really scared for a moment when we lost Courier. I was like, oh no. I remember when I used to when I was a kid and I got lost in the supermarket, right? On the mall without my parents, and I was like, oh, I'm lonely in the world. Like suddenly your world ends, right? When you get lost as a kid. I could really feel that anxiety. Really well done game. Really well done developer. Uh, Sorry, I'm still thinking a little bit about stuff. Uh, so I think the talk about the job, the telegraphing, the communications, the wiring, everything. I think that's really well done. I'm sure the developer made their homework about that. Did a little bit of investigation because it's really accurate, right? I think I'm not an expert on this kind of thing, but it sounds pretty accurate to me. Uh, yeah, I just think this is an amazing work. Honestly, I don't think I have played something quite like this. Not that I can remember. I have played amazing visual novels, but this one has something different, and it's that storytelling that feels like even if the setting it's not natural, like it's rabbit people and animal people, in a fantasy world with a fantasy war with a rabbit zero Cthulhu thing. The daily life of this girl of the MC, at least for me, it's really relatable. You can understand the struggles. Like I do often find myself getting into the kitchen and there's only rice and oats, right, and beans and stuff like that. So I don't know. I feel like right at home with this game. I don't know if that's a good thing that I feel at home in a game that's supposed to be taking place in a war-related world, but whatever, right? Uh, yeah, I think the story goes really deep, and it focuses on the right things, not too much into the war, but it's a ever-present topic on the game. You have the nightmares. I wonder what happened to the twins, right? The Twin Tails and Hat Girl. I hope they're okay. I doubt they are, right? I really hope. I don't know if I want a sequel to this game because the ending was pretty much perfect, like this really open ending, and life just goes on. And I guess when you lost the thing that it's comfortable to you, that the thing that you always do, you have to find a new thing and slowly make it your new comfort, right? Because life, even if you don't want it, and believe me, I don't want change. You want it or not, life is gonna change, and if you can't deal with change, you're gonna get stuck, just missing the things you had, and you will never find new things to love or to feel at home at. So yeah, change is hard for me. I guess it's hard for the girl in the game too. Really good game. I enjoy it. So yeah, if you guys want to play it, and you should, I know that you just watched the whole thing, right? But come on, experience it yourself. It's good. The link will be down in the description as always. And I think that's all. Thank you so much, so much, guys, for watching. Thank you so much, developer, for making the game. Great storytelling. It really touched my heart in a way I don't think my heart has ever been touched by a visual novel before. And don't take that in a weird way, please. It was really good. So thank you for making this game. I will see you guys in the next indie game or stream. See you later.